battled the blaze for a few hours.
It was less than a month that shooting was there, right?
Yeah, November 11th.
So that is pretty interesting, I guess.
Yes. Now, of course, a lot of people are speculating, but
Well, there's no evidence up right now, right?
right. I mean, they haven't even probably begun the investigation. I'm sure initially they've started some preliminary things, but we'll speak with Chief Ingersoll in the 8 o'clock hour this morning to get some updated information about what they do know. But, of course, obviously, fire marshals and investigators will have to really pick through the damage and see where the fire originated and how.
Yesterday afternoon, we learned in the afternoon, employees of Remington Arms were the 250 to 300, whatever is there currently, were asked to go to the fourth floor for a big meeting. They got to the meeting and were informed that Rem Arms, the new company that owns the firearms portion of Remington, Rem Arms is closing down the operation in Ilion. And that would mean that all employees will be done. The target date is March 4th of next year. And this is terrible news. How much is it affecting right now? 250 families.
Yeah.
But, interestingly, 10 years ago, there were 1,500 families affected. And that's what, in 10 years, they have lost there. Just think about the income, the disposable income. Now, the people will say, well, I'm sure they replaced their jobs. Yeah, probably not with jobs that paid the same amount. In some cases, if you're a little bit older, it's hard to get a job and to retrain. It's horrible. And now... immediately, we think SAFE Act, what Cuomo did. Thank you, Albany, for destroying Remington Arms. But I think it's much deeper than that, and I do think that probably that Albany played a role. Let's be honest. The governor of Georgia put together a sweet deal to have Remington move its global headquarters to
Or was it
Georgia.
Alabama?
Georgia.
Oh, okay.
So Alabama first. Remember, they went to Alabama and opened a new facility,
right?
And things didn't go well. In fact, this was the old company. They were going they were going to create a brand new facility down there, which they moved into a new facility, a remodeled facility. But then they were going to ramp up to 600, 800, 1,000, 1,200 jobs, and they never did. So the same complaints that people had here, well, we gave you all these tax breaks, but we have no jobs. Same complaints down there. Now, then Remington goes belly up. They file for bankruptcy. The company, Remington Outdoor, gets split up. Some of the members of the old Remington company who, mismanaged and drove it into the ground, just my opinion, they formed this Rem Arms, and they purchased the firearms manufacturing portion of Remington. Then, after about 6 or 7 months, with Remington completely closed in Ilion and all over, they reopened in Ilion and began hiring people. It was shortly thereafter that they cut a deal with the governor of Georgia, who courted them, and with all sorts of sweet incentives. And there was a story in the Wall Street Journal about this, how states put together these attractive deals. The companies go in, and then another deal comes up, and they'll take another state's deal, and they kind of bounce around and create new facilities based on all these sweet deals. Nonetheless, Georgia did what they needed to do. New York did nothing. So you have a Democratic governor in Cuomo. And we're in the middle of a time where people that are anti-gun kind of align themselves with the liberal portion of the Democratic Party, and would certainly put pressure on Cuomo and now Hochul if they were to put any deal together to keep Remington. But beyond that, it goes deeper. What kept Remington open over these years and through decades was government contracts. And whether it was Hannah or it was Sherry Bollert, and even Claudia Tenney, although I think she fell short. They would always, and I even think Anthony Brindisi, they worked to get government contracts to keep Remington in Ilion, to keep it strong. It would always add 400 or 500 more workers. And those government contracts over the years have been essential to Remington's success. Where is Brandon Williams? And even worse than that, certainly Chuck Schumer, he's in the same boat. He's not going to help out Remington.
Not a chance.
Because he's going to get hammered by the left side of his party. So there's no Gillibrand, there's no Schumer to help. But I think the worst of all is Elise Stefanik, who actually represents Ilion. I'm pretty sure she is the congresswoman for Ilion. And she is one of the most powerful Republicans out there. She could have worked to help save Remington. But here's where exactly what we talked about with Blunt yesterday. And what's happening at Hamilton College, where they're going to hold this meeting on Monday, this forum to talk about how Democrats and Republicans won't work together. We are a great example of that right here. So Democrats aren't going to help Remington out with any government contracts because they don't want with Newtown and Connecticut and everything that went on there, they don't want the trouble of saying, why would you help out this gun company?
Right.
And Republicans want to be able to point fingers to say, look at how you drove this company out. So you have us, the community, those people in Herkimer County that are stuck with no representation. Nobody's going to stand up to help them. Democrats aren't going to, and Republicans aren't, and they didn't. And that is the true failure. They could have kept Remington thriving, but no one was willing to do it. We have no representation here.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
And I think, too, one of the biggest things is, clearly the company's not healthy. That's very apparent.
And they want a deal. Believe me, I'm not sure anything could have prevented them from being attracted by the Georgia deal because it was a sweet deal. It gave them cash. It gave them huge tax incentives and grants, and they just sweetened the deal. And you're right. It's a company that is not healthy. And it was, think about this. In the 70s and 80s, there were 3,000 plus employees that worked there. Today, there are somewhere between 200 and 300. So the decline, that's going to kill the Valley. Remington closing is going to kill the Valley. It's already been done.
It's already been on life support. Yeah.
It's already been happening over the course of the last 10 years and even longer than that. But you know what? They were at least able to keep things going. Prior to 2011, they were at least able to keep pumping in government contracts. But with all the conflict around the world, we couldn't have driven a couple of government contracts to the Ilion facility and made it very clear that, you'll get these contracts, but these lines have to be produced in Ilion.
Yeah, exactly.
And we got none of it. And you have all of this amazing power that Elise Stefanik has. She's the one. I don't know what Brandon Williams could have done, but look what Claudia Tenney was able to do for Liberty Flatware.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
She stood up for that company. She made sure she brought the silverware into the White House, and it was a big boon for Liberty. The same thing could have been done, especially with all the conflict around the world. The same thing could have been done for Remington Ilion. And now that plant, which is 34 acres, smack dab in the middle of Ilion, the entire village was built around Remington Arms. Remington wasn't built around Ilion.
Yeah.
It's been there for over 200 years. And you're going to have this gigantic plant with an irresponsible group of owners who have just basically thumbed their nose at the people of Herkimer County, and they're leaving. So what happens to that facility?
Well, that's what'll be the interesting thing to talk to Vin Bono about when we have him on this morning, because they're going to have to. And I got to tell you, him and John Pisak have done a great job attracting new businesses, new industries into the Valley. But this will definitely be a tough challenge for them moving forward.
It's going to be a problem. Rob says it's a state with one-party rule. I do think that's a problem, Rob, but I don't think that's this problem. It's your federal representatives that had the ability to keep Remington going. And I get it, the SAFE Act and all of that, but none of that really affected Remington to the point they were still able to manufacture. There was never any limit on manufacturing. And by the way, they sell their guns all over the world. But beyond that, it could have been, government contracts could have been brought in here to save the day. And it never happened. The real problem here is the fact that politicians are now self-serving. And instead of doing the right thing, instead of helping their community, they're better off with basically playing to the extremes, whether you're on a Democrat or Republican. And you would rather be able to sit around and be able to blame and watch and use that storyline to say, look what Cuomo did. Then stand up and bring in government contracts that would have saved that company. They could have saved the day. And, there was a time when both Democrats and Republicans fought for Ilion and fought for Remington Arms. That time is gone. In fact, we're kind of a community that doesn't have representation. Our congressperson is no longer based here, and I think that plays a big role.
Yeah. Well, that's
and believe me, SAFE Act and all the anti-Cuomo stuff and all of that certainly played a role. It certainly gave them the excuse to be able to say, we're moving out of here. But this could have been fixed.
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem is, with the exodus of people continuing from New York as a result of, a lot of, I think, the policies, the population goes down. We got bit by the census bug, and now the redistricting has really put us at a disadvantage.
Well, take it for what it is, but it is a horrible shame. This morning we'll talk with County Legislature Chairman Jim Bono, also Ilion Mayor John Stevens about that. But I remember starting this battle off back in 2013, 2012, back when Remington began, that new company began having its troubles. We were, Congressman Hanna played a big role. You had before that you always had someone willing to stand up, and today it's like crickets. There's no one. Who was helping Remington? Well, there's just 200 jobs there. What are we going to do? But a 34-acre plant. What's going to happen with that? Now that becomes the big difficulty. What do you do with that? That is an old plant. It's not modern. It's multi-level. I think it's 4 floors. And I imagine 10 years of vacancy.
Yeah.
And who's gonna move into that plant? Who's going to take up that space?
Well, and again, we hear it all the time from people that are developers. They'd rather start with a clean slate, shovel-ready lot than have to renovate a whole building.
If you think tearing down St. Elizabeth Hospital is a challenge, imagine the challenge of Remington. It's
a lot of environmental stuff going on there.
Yeah, I can't imagine. So we'll speak with the Ilion Mayor, John Stevens, on this. We'll speak with Chairman Bono as well later on this morning, and we'll get to all of that coming up. Davey, thank you. All is good, Davey? You're good?
No, there was a problem.
What happened?
I'll discuss it off the air with you.
The credit card didn't work?
Yes.
Oh. All right.
He'll discuss it off the air.
I'll give you cash. Hold on. I'll tell you if it didn't work or not. I love the fact that these credit cards, you can just look right up. Yeah, you know why? Because there's 0 available. There's no money available here, Davey. I'm sorry. I sent you a bad credit card. That's my fault.
You know, a similar thing happened to me at Aldi the other day because
normally when I go, though, the beauty, you're right there. You just put more money on it.
Yeah.
You weren't able to do that. I'm sorry, Davey.
You're okay.
Last night, my wife watched this Golden.
Oh my God, this Golden Bachelor thing.
Did you watch it?
Never.
Okay, well,
I know the premise, so let's just say I know the premise. But,
Oh my God! Last night, I'm telling you, you know what's going to happen on this show? One of these people is they're gonna kill somebody or themselves.
When's it wrap up?
I think it wrapped up last night. Yeah. Here's some audio, the whole thing.
Got to the point with the questions I had asked myself about how did I get here and is she the right girl? And I came to the realization that you're not the right person for me to live with.
Oh yeah, this
You're
one
the person
bad.
that I can't live without.
Oh my God. That was so good.
what did he do? Oh my God!
I'm
You're
never
the
going
person
to
I
stop
can't live
believing
without.
that every day I choose you.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Will you marry me?
Yes, I will. Sorry,
Listen. So it came down to two women, and here's the problem. He had said "I love you" to both of them.
Oh, they always do.
He had said he had slept with both of them. I think he had. Remember they're in their 70s, but hey, love still exists at age 70.
Those nursing homes, I'll tell you.
He had said, "You are the one. You are the one. I think you're the one." And then he'd go to the next one, and then she was the one, like a kid who's all screwed up in the head trying to figure out which person he wants to be with. That's what happened here. And at one point they're like yelling. She's the one who didn't get picked is yelling at him. It was oh my God. You'd have thought
was this
these
something
guys
you heard or you were watching?
I'm sitting there on my computer as my wife is just glued to it. Mm-hmm. She loved this show. And it was, at one point the woman said to him, so now they're meeting one more time before he makes his selection.
Yeah.
And the woman is looking in his eyes and she said, "I love you." And he said, "Wow, that's such a wonderful sentiment."
Ooh.
That's when you
knew.
He had made, and then she begins to cry. There's silence. Oh my God, this show.
Now, meanwhile, these people have only known each other for...
That's what my wife was
month?
saying last night. It's like maybe a little longer than that. You've only known him for 6 or 8 weeks. I mean, come on. You've fallen in love? Yes, I've fallen in love with you.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But the failure rate of the people that were on that show, as far as marriages go, is exceedingly high. I mean, I think there's got to be not just the Golden Bachelor, but the Bachelor and/or Bachelorette.
I
or
would
Paradise Island or whatever the hell.
I
it's called.
would bet that the Golden Bachelor has a better success rate. I mean, we don't know. This is the first time there was a Golden Bachelor, and my reasoning is these guys have both of their spouses died. They've both been alone for a while.
Okay.
And here they are now getting married. They're going to go gaga over each other. It's going to be sickening. Their families, their children are going to be like, "Oh my God, there they go again. They're kissing again." Act your age, will you?
I'm going to take myself out of the will. This is disgusting.
I think that what you see with the younger bachelors, they're in their 20s or what have you, and they're hooking up. Yeah, I think those end badly.
Yeah.
But this, I think, might be a little bit different. But at the end of the day, it was bad. I mean, I did feel bad for the woman that didn't get picked, but she didn't hold back. She came right out and was like, "You lied to me. Everything you said to me was a lie." And there, I'm watching, and my wife is like, "Don't make a fool of yourself." And I mean, this was like watching a football game. I mean, the intensity, the drama. It was something.
Your wife is very passionate about things, so I can imagine. I can only imagine.
Believe me, the guy. If my wife was there in the audience, she'd have walked up and slapped the guy.
Oh, she was sympathetic to the cause.
Well,
of the...
she was, but at the same time, she thought the woman who didn't get picked was making a fool of herself. Mm-hmm. She should have just gone out with dignity, and you're in a show. You're on a stinking reality TV show. Let's not forget that.
There's a 50-50 shot you're not going to get picked there, darling.
Yeah, I think I think immediately there's some opportunity there. I'm reading somebody's message, and I do think there's opportunity, and we could do it. I've done it before. Not the golden aspect, but there's some opportunity. Anyway, craziness. Just a battle last night, and the program is now over.
Oh, well, then until the next season.
Until the next season.
When they go for couples in their 80s.
Today is National Christmas Lights Day, if you care. It's the day people set aside to put up your Christmas lights. Well, that was last week when the weather was warmer, but you know what? We're going to be in the mid-40s, mid to upper 40s at some points this weekend. Not a bad weekend to put up any possible Christmas lights. Richard this morning, the most dishonest, unorganized group of people. Is he talking about us? I'm reading on. They are so unprofessional. Oh, he's talking about the hospital. I have also heard from lots of people how terrible the service in the new hospital, blah, 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 blah. Yes, I think there are a lot of rumors out there. It's a new facility like anything else. I think you're going to have issues in a new facility when you open, just like when you build your own home.
Yeah.
There are going to be things that happen. You got to call the contractor up and say, man, this window doesn't open. What's going on? On the other hand, the story we had yesterday of the moving company, I don't know how you go from they expect $60,000 and the hospital is willing to pay $20,000. I don't know how you get there. And I just think that is the type of story that I hope the hospital avoids going forward.
So, yeah, I think that
And
I got word that it was again, and it's still MVHS.
You heard from MVHS yesterday.
Yes, basically they said, just for the record, that was not a hospital move that happened. It was one of the physicians' office buildings.
Yeah, but it's still MVHS.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Which is what I had thought. Yeah.
I mean, technically, it's not Wynn Hospital,
right?
Is what they're
Exactly.
saying, but it's still, MVHS.
I think people will
is paying
take a
the bill.
story like this and then use that as fodder to kind of throw in or try to justify some of the other things that they've heard about the facility. And
well, I know this was done all very quickly for the moving company. I'd say I wish they had a contract. Then we wouldn't even be talking about this.
Yeah.
And but it's hard to do that, right? It's hard because they estimated and then they did certain duties, and they say they ended up going over and above what they originally had been asked to do, and that's why the cost went up a little more than what was originally estimated. I think the estimate was at $50,000 and it came in at $60,000. But the hospital saying I'm willing to pay $20,000. That's a pretty big distance.
Yeah, a very, very big dispute. Dick in Deerfield saying yesterday, the moving company story seems odd. The documentation should simply have... Oh, come on. The documentation should simply have been submitted to a higher-up person via the attorney. Telling an elaborate story on the radio seems a bit like the various naysayers who are still making negative posts on social media. Dick, it seems like the owner of this company is 20 years in the business, and I've heard from my real estate realm that EJA Moving is a very reputable company.
Yeah,
so
that's where
for
this
him to
does-
falsify something, I mean, I don't know.
Well, I think that's where this does come into play as a problem. This is not a fly-by-night company, so I don't know. And going public, I think that based on what I was told, is they felt they had no other choice. They were getting nowhere with their attorneys, and they figured that the only way to get anything done is to push by going public. Sometimes that can make things happen.
Sometimes it makes it worse.
It can have the opposite effect.
Yeah.
Let's see here. All right, let me go to. Can I keep it going here?
Sure.
Let me go to Willie Waffle, standing by right now. Willie, good morning. My wife just glued to the Golden Bachelor. The Golden Bachelor.
Oh, my God. But did you read the tell-all story that came out earlier this week about the Golden Bachelor?
No. What happened? What is it?
You know, he hasn't exactly always been Mr. Innocent and Loving here, is what we found out. His whole story that the first kiss he's gotten since his wife died was on the Golden Bachelor. Lie. He's been living with some other woman. They had some big falling out. She feels that he did not represent himself honestly to her. It's been out there. It was either in Variety or the Hollywood Reporter this week. I'm sure other outlets have picked up on it. I think that our engaged lady from last night has a lot of things to read and study before the big wedding that's going to take place live on the air, maybe in January.
So they're going to
taking it to a new level.
They're going to get married on TV.
Yeah,
of course they are.
I guess what they announced last night is that after the engagement, that yes, there will be a live wedding ceremony. It's early in January. I want to say like the 3rd or the 4th or the 5th, somewhere in there. And well, that's drama, baby, because now that stuff's coming out about this dude, I think that we could have somebody left at the altar on live television.
Wow. Okay.
Well, that's not. Well, live television is different because, as we've talked about Love is Blind, there's been plenty of people, which is just another ridiculous show, but it's quite addicting. That's a Netflix show. They meet, a bunch of people talk with a wall in front of them, and then they propose to one another, and drama ensues.
Listen, it's these shows. I just have a problem with. Here's the guy. He has all the power in the world here because the women do the same thing when the woman is the bachelorette. But he has 12 women. He gets to be nitpicky with each and every one of them, and now he's left with. They're all looking at him. They all want him. He selects one. It's just the most ridiculous concept when you really think about it. But it's like okay with society today. We're all right with it. But Willie, when one of these women all of a sudden gets so depressed she, does something to herself, that's when the show will be in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, the show is trying to be this big fantasy that you're on this remote island. It's beautiful everywhere. You live in the lap of luxury. These fancy dates and these dream dates, and and I think people get wrapped up in that because let's face it, it's a lot more exciting than your normal get up in the morning and go to work, and that's where these relationships tend to fall apart. Is that once you go back to reality, all of a sudden you get to see everybody for who they really are.
Yep,
you get to learn more about them, and you get to learn more about their lives. And you go, yeah, I'm not interested that much. It turns out you were a lot more attractive when we were on the island on the beach.
That's exactly right. And the cameras are all over, and they're giving you all this. You're going out for the most wonderful meals, and everything's just wonderful. And then you get back to normal life, and he's kind of an odd duck, though, a little weirdo as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I think that the more we're learning about him, he built himself as a restaurateur, and he did. He owned a restaurant, and it turns out he got rid of that years ago, and really was working regular job, like he was a maintenance guy or something, and they always were playing up the fact that he was some big businessman. Well, yeah, but he also had like a regular blue collar job. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Why are we downplaying that? Just little things like that really kind of get to you. But the best part of the story, now that I'm remembering it, the woman who he dated after his wife passed away moved into this retirement, this grand retirement home that he had built with his wife, where he wanted to retire and kind of spend the rest of his life. And he started demanding that she pay some of the expenses.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, so he's a weirdo. He's a cheapy weirdo. And, you can act all wonderful when the show's paying for every one of your moves and every bit of attire and every meal you're eating. But then when you're on your own, okay.
Yeah, all of a sudden, you are who you are.
You are who you are.
Only
well,
thing that is
the
weird,
drama continues.
The only thing that's weird to me about these shows is that every woman wants to. I mean, they have to get eliminated to get off the show. There's no woman that's been like, this guy's kind of odd. I want out of this thing.
Well, I wonder if some
like
of them
taking themselves out of contention. That never happens.
Yeah.
I think some have. I think some have just said, "This isn't for me. I'm leaving."
And they might also be able to be self-destructive. Like, I'm going to do a few things to make sure I get kicked off.
That's right.
I'm going to get out of here.
Yeah.
All right. In theaters. Okay, everybody. Happy holidays. It's Christmas time. A wonderfully beautiful Silent Night makes it this weekend to theaters, right?
That's right. This is your violent Christmas movie for the year. But, I actually, an interesting one. So it stars Joel Kinnaman. He plays this guy who witnesses his son's death on Christmas Eve. They get caught up in the crossfire in a gang shooting, and the son is murdered, and he gets shot in the throat, and he can't really speak much anymore. And he decides to spend his life seeking vengeance. So he goes all Rambo. He starts getting in shape. He starts learning about how to use a knife, how to use guns. He starts working out like a bandit because he's going to track these people down and get revenge for his son.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's actually the first American film from John Woo in about 20 years. And John Woo is one of the great directors. He basically invented a lot of the action scenes that you see in action movies these days. The ballet-like violence, the car chases, the shootouts, all of it done in slow-mo. And he brings all that back here. But what I think really makes the movie work is that he also interweaves kind of flashbacks in this guy's life for us to truly understand what did he lose, where was he before this tragedy. I'm going to say 3 waffles. I thought it was pretty good.
Wow,
Right.
so for a horror flick, it's pretty good.
Get out and see it. Would you call it a horror flick, or is it more of a murder drama? What is it?
Yeah, I think it's more of an action film, more of a revenge film.
All right. Okay. Silent Night in theaters. Okay, and then there's a bunch of streaming stuff, including Beyonce's concert. As if she's like, wait a minute.
She's in theaters. And it's like $20 a pop.
It is in theaters. She's got to be like, if Taylor Swift can do it, I can do it.
Well, it's really funny because they kind of were working on it at the same time, and I don't think either one really knew because the announcements came out very, very close to each other. So, good for them. They had a good idea, and that's what Beyonce's done. So this is about her Renaissance tour, and unlike Taylor Swift's movie, she gets more into the background and more of a documentary style, as well as showing a lot of concert footage.
Okay. Candy Cane Lane on Amazon.
Yeah, I have an announcement to make. Eddie Murphy's going broke.
Oh, boy.
He obviously did this for the money. He had to do this for the money.
Who's
There's
that?
no other
Eddie
reason
Murphy.
to do this thing. Oh, God, it's so bad. It's like every bad Christmas idea thrown into one. Okay, so he gets laid off. He's obsessed with winning the neighborhood decorating contest. It turns out this year you can get $100,000 if you win. So now he's got even more incentive. The kids are ready to go off to college. He wants to make it the most special Christmas ever. Oh, and then he makes a deal with an evil elf, not knowing it's an evil elf. And this elf unleashes the 12 days of Christmas all over his neighborhood.
Oh, boy. What do you give it there, Willie?
I'm giving this one waffle.
Okay.
It is just all over the place.
Clear.
It is trying to be everything, and it's nothing.
And it's Eddie Murphy.
Everything.
I mean, what a shame. What a big shame. Okay.
Well, but let's face it, Eddie has a history of doing a lot of movies for the money.
No doubt. This one I think is going to be good, though. Bookie on Max.
It's interesting. So it's a half-hour comedy series. It's written by Chuck Lorre. This is the guy who brought you 3 or 2.5 Men. He brought you, The Big Bang Theory, a lot of really big comedies. And it stars, Sebastian Maniscalco as basically a bookie. I liken it to a comic version of The Sopranos. He's the put-upon bookie. Everything's going wrong for him, right? Online gambling's moving in and taking over his business. His family doesn't get along with him very well. Everyone owes him money, and nobody will pay him. And so now he's out there trying to make his living. And the first episode, really wins me over because it's got all these fun cameos, and the big one being Charlie Sheen, who had the horrible fallout with Chuck Lorre. He shows up here. I hope he shows up more. I think the series loses a little bit of steam. Like, it feels like they tried really hard in the first episode, and then in the second episode, they didn't have all the bells and whistles, and it wasn't as funny, and it wasn't as exciting. I meant like 2 waffles.
Okay. Less than a minute. Family Switch. Good, bad on Netflix.
Yeah, just because it's about the holidays doesn't mean it has to be stupid. Come on. It's 1.5 waffles.
Okay.
It's not that great. Basically, an entire family. Remember Freaky Friday? Well, in this case, the entire family switches places.
And then 30 seconds. I want to get all these in. Mark Cuban leaving the Shark Tank. I was surprised to see that.
Yeah, this is huge. He is leaving Shark Tank at the end of the season in 2025. Says he wants to spend more time with his family. And then after he made that announcement about spending more time with his family, he announced that he's selling a majority stake in the Dallas Mavericks basketball team.
Wow.
And it looks like he wants to make Dallas into the next Las Vegas. And he's going to try to build a new arena and a casino with it.
Okay. Out of time, Willie. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll talk next week. Feel better.
Talk to you next week.
All right, thanks so much. Willie Waffle, WIBX Utica, Rome. It's 7 o'clock.
Over Gaza again. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The war is back on after a week-long break.
The strongest strikes we've heard in the southern part of Gaza. That is thought to be a Hamas stronghold.
Fox's Greg Palcott near the Gaza border in Israel.
Both sides are blaming each other. After over 100 hostages were freed, Israel says Hamas did not present an adequate list of possible released captives. Also, before the ceasefire was set to end this morning, Hamas shot off rockets at neighboring Israeli villages.
Now, Israel says Hamas is still holding 137 hostages, 22 of them women and children. 2 governors debated on Fox last night.
Neither of us will be the nominee for our party in 2024.
California Governor Gavin Newsom traded barbs with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who's running for the White House, calling President Biden too old.
And, you know, Gavin Newsom agrees with that. He won't say that. That's why he's running his shadow campaign.
And as Fox's Jessica Rosenthal reports, they went back and forth.
I can handle it. I'm used to bullying. You're nothing but a bully.
You're a bully.
I understand that.
The debate began with a question about why so many people have left California and, in some cases, gone to Florida, as well as other states.
California has no peers. California dominates.
California Governor Gavin Newsom insists people are also moving back to California. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said he laughed when Newsom said California was a more free state than his, but then reconsidered.
You have the freedom to defecate in public in California. You have the freedom to create a homeless encampment under a freeway and even light it on fire.
Congressman George Santos may be kicked out of the House today, but the Republican calls the vote to expel today a farce.
It is a predetermined necessity for some members in this body to engage in this smear campaign to destroy me.
After lying to New York voters about his past, Santos was indicted for campaign finance fraud, and a House ethics investigation found he spent campaign funds on himself. America's listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
Paid actor portrayal.
Life can be so unpredictable. After losing my dad, it made me think about my family if something were to happen to me. I had heard about life insurance through Ethos and how easy it was to get coverage. They were right. In 10 minutes, I was covered. And boom, family protected.
Ethos fast and easy online term life insurance up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Good morning, WIBX 950 News Time 7:03. I'm Andrew Derminio. We have partly cloudy skies, 37 degrees. Your full forecast is coming up. This update brought to you by the Mad Dash to save cash during My Carl's Holiday Super Sale. Glam vanities with mirrors, dining sets, rocker recliners, and more. Keep more jingle in your pocket at My Carl's New Hartford Shopping Center. Employees of Remington Arms in Ilion were given devastating news on Thursday. Workers at the gun manufacturer were told that the birthplace of the over 200-year-old company is set to close on March 4th, 2024. The news came at a fourth-floor afternoon staff meeting where employees were also told they would be terminated. In 2020, the Remington Outdoor Company filed for bankruptcy, and the company's assets and divisions were broken up. A new company was formed that included former members of the original Remington Outdoor Company that would own the rights to manufacturing firearms. 8 months later, it would reopen in Ilion, employing about 200 people. A historic Varick Street building has been devastated by fire. Utica fire officials announced they were first called to the scene at HK Restaurant and Lounge just before 1:30 on Thursday afternoon. A second alarm was activated shortly after the first, and the battle raged on for hours. Ultimately, the former Rogers Coffee Shop was a total loss. HK Restaurant and Lounge was the scene of a homicide back on November 11th that saw the death of Kwame Smith. A second Republican has entered the race to represent the 50th State Senate District. Salina Town Supervisor Nick Parro is seeking the seat that is currently held by Democrat and State Senator John Mannion. Mannion is not running for re-election because he's going to challenge incumbent Republican Congressman Brandon Williams in 2024. The 50th District covers both Oswego and Onondaga counties. Other candidates in the contest are James Raleigh, Chris Ryan, Tom Drum, and Al Sturpey. Governor Hochul says New York State has awarded over $5 million towards supporting school-based mental health clinics. The governor said yesterday she has talked with students who say they are still feeling the effects of the COVID-19 crisis and that they're dealing with the grief of losing a loved one during the pandemic. She also believes it's up to adults to help kids return to some form of normalcy. A list of the new clinics can be found at governor.ny.gov. WIBX 950 News Time, 7:05. Your weather forecast is according to Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint, brought to you by Country Suburban.
I'm Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint at the WIBX Weather Center. Today, increasing clouds, chilly light rain developing by late morning and midday, becoming steady through the afternoon into the evening hours. Some wet snow at times over high elevations with a slushy inch after sunset, the high of 43. Tonight, periods of rain tapering, some wet flurries at higher elevations, a low of 35. For more on your local forecast, tune to Eyewitness News at 6 on WTR. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint on WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM.
Right now, it's 37 degrees under partly cloudy skies at 7:06. The annual Teddy Bear Toss, the New York Sash Teddy Bear Toss, happens tonight at 7 o'clock at the Adirondack Bank Center. Utica Comets have a game away against who?
Cleveland tomorrow and Sunday.
So 2 road games for the Comets.
And the Utica City FC kick off their season tomorrow night.
That's right, at the Adirondack Bank Center. So
right.
A lot of action at the Adirondack Bank Center this weekend. Do not miss it. We'll have tickets for the Teddy Bear Toss coming up later on the program. Also in sports, the Syracuse Orange basketball team will take on Virginia tomorrow. Thank you, Smitty.
High noon on ESPN2.
And that will be they're hoping to win their 3rd straight game. They're right now sitting at 5-2.
It's their first official ACC basketball
game. Yep. So that season well underway. We'll speak to Scott in Kirkville coming up at the top of the 8 o'clock hour for info on that. Buffalo Bills linebacker Von Miller has turned himself into the Dallas police. An arrest warrant was issued earlier for the 34-year-old on Thursday. Miller is accused of assaulting his pregnant girlfriend in Dallas. The assault allegedly happened on Wednesday morning. Police say Miller and the victim were arguing before the physical assault. He left the scene before police arrived. The victim was treated at the scene for minor injuries. The Bills say they are aware of the incident. Miller reportedly posted bond and was released. And Dak Prescott on Thursday Night Football, heard right here on WIBX, threw a go-ahead 12-yard touchdown pass to Jake Ferguson late in the fourth quarter as the Cowboys defeated the Seahawks 41-35 from AT&T Stadium. The streaking Denver Broncos visit rookie sensation C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans as Week 13 continues. On Sunday, also an NFC Championship game rematch will take place between the San Francisco 49ers and the Eagles of Philadelphia. And Sunday Night Football will be headlined by the new baby of the league, and I'm talking about crybaby Patrick Mahomes, and the Kansas City Chiefs will visit my Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field. Hopefully they can get back-to-back miraculous wins. I mean, it's really true. I mean, one of the things that Tom Brady always did was he would have somebody, graze his arm, and he'd be going to the refs, "Oh, he hit me. Where's the flag?" And that's kind of how Patrick Mahomes plays the game nowadays, if I do say so myself.
I don't mean to laugh, just the way you said that. The new crybaby.
The new crybaby, that's right. WIBX 950 News Time 7:09. A lot of programs still to get to here, and not a lot of time to get the guests in. It's First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX 950 at 106.9 FM.
Black Friday deals at Mattress Express. How about some televisions? On select Purple Rejuvenate King or Queen with adjustable base, get a 75-inch flat screen TV, a 75-inch TV with a Purple. How about this? Tempur-Pedic Split King with adjustable base, a 75-inch flat screen TV, or $600 in free gifts. King or Queen Sealy or Stearns & Foster, get a 58-inch flat screen TV, or $200 in free gifts. Flexhead, King or Queen Select Therapeutics with adjustable base, a 75-inch flat screen TV. Wow, great deals. On select luxury King and Queen sets like the Smart Bed by Instant Comfort and Posh and Lavish, listen to this is the big one, a $1,000 prepaid Visa card or a massage chair that sells for $2,000. Nobody has all the brands under one roof in New York State that Mattress Express has. Go to mattressexpressny.com. Call 1-800-NEW-BEDS. Get your Black Friday deals at Mattress Express.
At MVHS, our team members fell in love with care long ago. Their lives were changed, and their world has been expanding ever since. In respect, compassion, knowledge, and ability. And it's only just begun. Because fueling the future of care starts here at the Wynn Hospital. Local care on a whole new level. The Wynn Hospital. Unwavering commitment and compassion. Learn more at mvhealthsystem.org. This is for you. The first steps taken in the Wynn Hospital are the first steps of a care experience that stands apart. One where compassion can always be found, where teams are trained to serve you well, and where cutting-edge technology is always at the ready. Because here, you not only receive state-of-the-art care, you have a distinctive care experience, one that is all about your comfort in a healing environment. Welcome to the Wynn Hospital.
We all like convenience, right? ATMs, takeout food, drive-through pharmacies. Now, Bremer's is making it just as convenient to enjoy your favorite wines and spirits with Bremer's to go. It's simple. Place your order at bremerswineandliquor.com or save $5 on your first order with our mobile app. Order before 5 p.m. for pickup the same day. Hey, you could even call us when you get to the store and we'll bring your order right out and load it in the car for you. Now that's convenience. Maybe you're planning a party. Maybe you want to stock up on your favorite wines. Or you just want to save time when you're out and about. Whatever the reason, at Bremer's, we're all about incredible customer service. So when you're on the go, we are too. Order at bremerswineandliquor.com or save $5 with our mobile app. Order before 5 p.m. for pickup the same day. It's Bremer's to go, available 7 days a week from Bremer's Wine and Liquor on Commercial Drive in New Hartford.
It's time for Stewart's Holiday Match. Last year, Holiday Match raised over $2 million for local children's charities. From Thanksgiving Day through Christmas Day, Stewart's customers impressively donated over $1 million to the program. Each individual donation was matched penny for penny by Stewart's shops, and $2 million was donated. There are no administrative costs, and 100% of the funds benefit local, nonprofit children's organizations. Visit stewartshops.com to learn more and apply. We're looking forward to another great season of Holiday Match.
The Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida Counties is your community foundation. Together, we've invested $125 million in the community, thanks to people, families, and businesses that want to give back and build a brighter future. And you don't have to have big bucks to make a big difference. Join us as we invest in the future of our community. Learn more about your community foundation at foundationhoc.org.
Need new tires for winter? Then visit Tolman's Tire and Auto Repair today. Now through December 14th, save up to $70 instantly when you buy a set of 4 eligible Bridgestone, Blizzak, or Firestone Winter Force tires. Save up to $100 instantly when you use your CFNA credit card. Tolman's Tire and Auto Repair located in South Utica, Yorkville, Rome, Herkimer, and downtown Utica. and online at TolmansTire.com. Offer valid November 15th to December 14th, 2023. Cannot be combined with other offers. See store for details, subject to credit approval.
Immerse yourself in premium nationwide coverage, contract-free plans, and always free activation with Consumer Cellular, now at your local Target. While you're there, check out our newest phone, the Iris Flip. It's all the phone and camera you need, plus it features a user-friendly design, making it the perfect flip phone. From now to December 16th, you can score $10 off when you buy the Consumer Cellular Iris Flip at Target, making it only $39.99. Visit your nearest Target for the full scoop.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
I want to tell you.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Hey, the official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio program is Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. Chuck Sedella and everybody over there ready to take care of you. You know, there's, if you're looking like, oh, it's the holidays, I want something really sweet, like a treat, their Almond Joy Latte will blow your mind. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But, you know, maybe you just like black coffee. Maybe it's espresso or lattes. Seattle's best coffee. Breakfast sandwiches, bagels, donuts. Catering for your next event, your next party. Daylight Donuts in New Hartford with a speedy drive-through. You're in and out. You're on your way. Okay, we talked about... I have a bunch of comments to get to, and I promise we'll get to those coming up. Speaking about Herkimer County last hour, and Remington announcing to employees yesterday they are closing the operation up in Ilion. This is the biggest fear, I think, that has been lingering in Herkimer County for decades. God, I hope if Remington ever closed, it would be terrible. Well, the immediate impact, I don't think is going to be as bad as it could have been. However,
or
it's
when
been
it was initially.
There were 1,500 employees there 10 years ago. Today, there are less than 300. But the slow drip has been devastation for Herkimer County. It just really has. Chairman of the legislature, Jim Bono, is on right now. Jim, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are we?
Good. I mean, you're from the Valley, have always been from the Valley, as I have been as well, and I think you can agree, if you heard it once, you heard it 50 times. God, I hope Remington doesn't close. I mean, this goes back to when I was in high school.
Absolutely. There were always, talks, rumors going around. You'd always hear they had a coffee shop at one time or another. But, now it's come to fruition, and it's unfortunate. Our thoughts are with those families, those 250 or 300 families.
That's still right.
They're right before the holiday season, the Christmas season. That's even more of a blow to them.
Yeah.
But,
so
we've always heard that, Bill. Yeah, absolutely.
I do understand. I think the Cuomo's SAFE Act is going to be the toughest gun laws in the country. I think that certainly probably played a role in this whole thing. But ultimately, I blame politics. For you and I, growing up there was always a federal representative to come in and say, we've secured a military contract for Remington. In fact, Remington played an enormous role during World War II. And it was those government contracts that had that stipulation that, these have to be made in Ilion. And there was, in the last 10 years, we haven't had that local representation to come in and put together those deals. And sadly, we have Elise Stefanik, who has probably the greatest opportunity to pull this off. So I just feel like it's a major failure of all the political climate we live in, Democrat and Republican right now. It is a big shame.
Yeah, as far as that goes, Bill, certainly politics plays a role in it. You're right. The history of Remington, not just in the sportsman field, but the military field, they've always had contracts, very high-profile contracts supporting our military, and those representatives should step up. And they have in the past, but you're right. In the last 10 years, that has sort of waned. But, it's how would I put this? It's a situation where there's other things involved, too.
Right, I know.
It's not just politics. A lot of the policies and regulations that the state has
No doubt.
formed in the last 10 years has done that. But, you have a new company in there, too. And from what we're being told that there may have been internal strife between partners there, and maybe that was part of this demise. Certainly politics plays into it. But, I'm trying to look at how do we go forward, Plan B.
I know.
That's where we're at now. So that happened. Okay. And we've always known, like we talked earlier, that could always happen. So what would be Plan B? Plan B is to make sure that our families and those workers are realigned with other jobs. Certainly, it couldn't happen, if anything, I hate to say this, but at a better time because there's such a wealth of jobs out there.
That's a good point.
In that skill set.
That's a good point.
The manufacturing, mid-manufacturing jobs, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of jobs in the 3 or 4 county area. So if you go to a work stop, Working Solutions or a One Stop, they can align you with all kinds of jobs in that skill set. So that's the cushion, I guess, lack of a better word, that we do have. Certainly this will happen in March. Maybe some of those workers will look ahead of time. But, we're ready. We've seen this before where they've laid off. Our Working Solutions, Nicole Wilson over there, can take care of the needs of those workers. So
and if I could say, on one hand, and I'll get to a negative, and I'd like your take on it. But before we go there, on one hand, 1,500 people were working there 10 years ago. Can you imagine if all those jobs disappeared on March 4th at the same time? That would be worse than what we're dealing with right now. I mean, 250, I don't want to downplay that. That's 250 families. That's a big deal. But imagine it could have been 1,500 10 years ago.
Absolutely. And 10 years ago, the county was a little more quiet. As you know, within the last 4 or 5 years, the county has exploded with a lot of jobs, a lot of growth and potential, and we continue. And there's more things coming down the pike, and we hope to make some announcements in the next couple months. So, again, that cushions this blow. If that would have happened 10 years ago, it would have a more detrimental effect on the county, and not just the county, but the region. But I'm trying to be. Again, if there's anything positive here, there is a silver lining where we can realign these people. They can still make a living. There are again hundreds of jobs in this skill set that we can accommodate.
Now let's talk about the obvious and the negative and the problem that you guys face, that we've all faced over the years in the region, and that is. 10 years ago, there were 1,500 jobs there, 1,500 families that made a living in Ilion, New York. And since then, it has declined to some 250. And while you're adding jobs, wouldn't it be the greatest scenario be, and I know this is probably what keeps you up at night, but the greatest scenario is you keep the 1,500 jobs and add another 1,000. But we always seem to be replacing jobs that were lost. And that's a pretty big deficit to make up, even with a strong tractor supply and all the other jobs that are available out there.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You'd like to have it, but it's in a day when it's everyone's having a tough time. But having a tough time to find people. Yeah. Not just in manufacturing, but anything out of the professional fields, nursing, schools, teachers, lawyers, doctors. It's just a tough time right now. And so, but I don't think that's happening, per se. I think we're people are being realigned, and we're gonna tackle this, and as far as the 1,400, remember there were there were decades when that factory used to have 3,000 plus people. Yeah. And that was the big worry. So the 250, I think we can absorb that. There's a shock absorber there. We certainly want to add more jobs, And we are going to. Like I said, there will be a couple announcements where we will replace those 250 jobs. And, it just doesn't happen here. It happens in all areas of the country. But we have to be resilient. We have to be strong. Certainly, again, not to... there are a lot of factors involved, not just politics, but corporate policies and strategies. And I think you're seeing more of that here than you're seeing the political side of it. Certainly, again, that was a key. The SAFE Act, that was a blow to everyone. We can certainly remarket that facility, and I know probably that would be a question for you too. What are we going to do with this facility?
What's going to happen?
Okay, you have a
34
square
acres
foot facility.
Yep.
Plus, so what do you do? Do we remarket it? And you call a guy like John Pizik, say, "Hey, John, what do you think here?" And we've already talked about this. I mean, so it's not that we haven't talked about it. What if they go? We're on Plan C and D right now, and so it's in a great location, central of the state. It's got low-cost power in Ilion, municipal power, which is 3-4 cents a kilowatt hour, which is an amenity that many companies look at. It's got dual-speed fiber there. It's got municipal water. It's got police, paid fire department, all the things that a company is looking for. Now, whether it's one end user or multiple end users, we could do that too. Look at that. So we're looking at that, and it all depends on what the company is going to do. We need to talk to them. We'll let the dust settle. We don't like to shoot from the hip and make comments before we talk to the company. I know John has reached out to them, and they're tight-lipped. They've always been tight-lipped too, and that's another thing. Whenever you call, sometimes you don't receive a call back, but when you do, they don't give out too much information.
Have you had? We're speaking with Jim Bono. He's the chairman of the Herkimer County Legislature. Have you had conversations with this new ownership group?
I haven't, as of yesterday, no, I haven't. But we did early on, and, we did offer benefits, too. That was another thing. When they first came on board, we had meetings with the new company, offered them the typical benefits, the pilots and things of that sort. But they did not take those benefits, those local benefits that we offer. They did not take that. So we figured, okay, they're solid. They're moving ahead. So the last 2 or 3 years, they've continued on, and there's been occasional talks, hi, how you doing? Anything we can do for you?
Yeah,
and
okay.
nothing bad. So.
Well, Brian Kemp, the governor of Georgia, just outdid anything most likely that Herkimer County or the region could have done, and they weren't going to be cutting any deals with Cuomo or Hochul. No. So Georgia looked very, very appealing.
Now, Jim, you did mention a lot of the benefits of that building, but how about the building itself? I mean, if a newer company wanted to come in and there was a new manufacturing line, I mean, does the actual building itself, does it have the ability to support that? With regard to the infrastructure there.
The problem you have is it's
multi-floor. Yeah.
Right. As far as usability, I mean, you'd have to. It all depends on what type of company is going to be in there. Again, we really need to talk to the company, ask them, hey, what are you going to leave? Because there may be certain components of that company that they may want to leave. We don't know if they're going to take all the machines. Maybe we market this to another gun manufacturer. I highly doubt that, but there's a possibility. But there's certain aspects, the powder coating and other industries or other areas that are in there, we could have maybe used that. Again, we really need to talk to the company, find out what their plans are. It's a 4-story building, 4 or 5-story building. Sure. Do you use it one end user? Or can we have a mall of sorts of different companies in there? Are they willing to sell it? Are they going to just leave it? Nobody knows right now. So it's all,
what if they
shooting from the hip.
What if they
certainly have to?
What if they decide? What if they decide to just leave it? And you're dealing with 2 centuries of toxins. I mean, I can't imagine the cleanup that would include.
Yeah, but we're doing that now with dual fold. John and the IDA and the village of Ilion have done a fantastic job. Nobody thought that was ever going to get cleaned up.
Right.
It is. The developer is going to spend, tens of millions of dollars in there, redevelop that, and make that a star. So it can be done. For people who say it can't be done, yeah, it's a long process. We get that. But never say never. And so there is a silver lining there. I'm being optimistic.
I know you are. And remember, but my question, the question is a little different. It's what if they decide to just say, you're on your own, we're out of here. I mean, are you going to hold their foot to the fire? Are you going to make sure they're a responsible partner as they leave Remington, as they leave Ilion and New York State?
I think certainly you're going to have those talks with them. What kind of landlord or what kind of property owner are you? Absolutely, you'll do all the things we need to do. Whether it's I don't want to sue anybody. Nobody wants to sue anybody. But guess what? When they leave, they leave. It's no different than a 2-story house. Somebody vacates it and they're gone. Yeah. It's a blight in the community.
Yeah.
So how do you tackle that? Look what we're doing with Charlestown. There's a lien on that building of $14 million. It was taken down. We think that can be that lien can be removed and we can redevelop that. So we're working on that, and that $14 million is a big nut to chew right there. So we'll
an encumbrance.
It can't, and it certainly can be looked at here. Again, it's really too early to make that decision and what we're going to do and where we're headed. But I would hope that they would be responsible owners. And, the community is steeped with tradition there, synonymous with Ilion, Remington name, and the labor there. You talked about, I just want to go back to this where you talked about they're going to Georgia. It's been done before. They've moved lines down to Alabama and other areas of their network, and they found that the quality of the workmanship and the work ethic is not there. It's here in Herkimer County. It's here in Ilion, New York. It's here in the region. We know that. So I think they're going to have a difficult time when they move this, and you certainly wish everybody the best. And the people that are going to be employed there, they're entitled to make a living too. But these people here have put their sweat. A lot of sweat has come out the backs of these people, and they've paid bills, put people through kids through college, and built homes and increase the economy here. So it's definitely a blow, but I'm being optimistic. I think we can help these people to get new jobs, maybe in the same skill set again, and continue to make a good living, a good earning. Good living wage, living.
I hate to be the negative person, but I do want to just say it is we're talking about and I get it. You're going through this with Dufold and with Charlestown, but look at how difficult the challenge is that Utica and Oneida County is having with St. E's and what to do with the St. E's property. That is a property that is playing a role in the repurposing of that property. In this case, you guys have had almost zero communication with this company. That's got to worry you a little bit.
Well, I mean, there's only so much you can do, Bill. You contact them, and they don't answer
respond.
The phone. Right. As far as the comment with St. E's and older buildings, brownfields are the new sexy, lack of a better word. We're John and the IDA and a lot of counties around, a lot of IDAs around are realizing that, you have the bricks and mortar there on a lot of these properties. Look at the developers. Look what they've done in Utica. They're taking old buildings and remodeling them, making them into housing, shopping areas. It can be done here too. And again, as a model, we're looking at Dufold. One of those developers is one who is, invested in the Utica area. So they're reputable, and it takes time. Unfortunately, this is not an overnight solution. It takes a lot of time, a lot of conversations with people. And again, the corporate world is different. They respond to you when they want to respond, and you can send all the letters and phone calls and emails. If you don't get a response, I don't know what more you can do outside of pounding on the door, and we've done that too. All
right.
Well, I think again, as we've discussed several times this morning, there's still a private company that owns that property privately, so a lot of it's a waiting game, unfortunately. I mean, you and John can do all you can to prepare for it, but a lot of it's unfortunately a big waiting game.
Well, it is, and it is the listen. It's the day everybody dreaded and hoped would never come, and here it is. Jim, we appreciate the time. Thank you. I know this is a difficult time for people in Herkimer County, but not just Herkimer County. Remington has supported the entire region, so we appreciate you taking the time this morning.
We'll get by. We'll get by, and we're resilient. We're strong, and to the families out there, there is help, and we'll be reaching out. Again, this is an unfortunate time of the year that this has happened, but we're with you and billion strong.
All right.
I'll say.
Okay, Jim. We appreciate it. Jim Bono. Have a great day and a great weekend. Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you.
All right. Thanks. Coming up, we will talk to the mayor of Ilion, John Stevens. But you think about, wouldn't it, a perfect scenario is we're adding these jobs. You add Tractor Supply. You add the tech jobs in Utica. You add all of these things get added, and they'd all be so much greater if you weren't looking at something else going away.
Yeah.
So 2 steps forward,
5 steps back.
It feels it sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Got a break. Let's do Hobica's free money question of the day, a chance for you to win a couple $100 this morning. 200, Davey. You're looking for caller number 3. Caller 3 right now. We'll do that and then talk to the Ilion mayor. 315-736-0186. We'll get to your comments coming up. I've got a ton of them. Third caller through the lines at 315-736-0186 right now. Also want to tell you, if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to clearly see it. Andrew, you'll have to get out of the way. But there is the shot on YouTube of the New Holland tractor, which currently comes from the Sheriff's Department as a donation and from Clinton Tractor. The bid, Dana only has the current bid at $425. That's the current bid. And then over on the other side is the Utica Mack truck. The bid right now is held by Hobica at $500. These are kids' toys. They're electric, and they.
I got outbid by Hobica. Oh boy,
you don't have to.
Too rich for my blood. There.
Oh yeah, you do have to bend over on that one too. Yeah, the Hobica bid is currently at $500. So there you go. If you want to bid on either one of these, it all goes to Marine Corps Toys for Tots. Give Davey a call at 315-736-0186. Free money question is next on WIBX.
28 years ago, Lori Potasowicz had a dream. With a natural love for pets, she wanted to become an expert groomer. So she set out to become the area's only nationally certified master groomer and launched her business, one paw at a time. With grooming expertise and a lot of loving care, Lori and her talented team began caring for pets one paw at a time. Cuts, shampoos, and styling, one paw at a time. Teeth and nails with no detail overlooked from head to toe, one paw at a time. Getting to know each and every dog and cat by name, the one paw at a time family grew, and Lori had a decision to make. Keep expanding? She followed her heart and decided to keep the one paw family atmosphere just the way it is, so she can keep taking care of the pets she knows and loves, one paw at a time. Lori and her team want to thank the families they serve for putting their trust in them to care for their four-legged family members, one paw at a time. 320 Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro near Woods Road. One Paw appreciates your understanding for their current waiting list for new customers.
Exciting career opportunities are available now at City Suburban in Westmoreland, New York. City Suburban is growing their team and are hosting open interviews this Monday from 12 noon to 6 p.m. You can find City Suburban at 4777 Route 233 Westmoreland. City Suburban is a full-service HVAC company serving the community for over 40 years. At these open interviews, you can learn about the great employment opportunities and the growing HVAC industry. City Suburban welcomes new and seasoned technicians. City Suburban offers great pay, benefits, vacation time, commission, company vehicle, and retirement. Don't miss their open interviews this Monday. And if you can't make it this Monday, you can stop in Tuesday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. City Suburban, 4777 Route 233 Westmoreland. Find them online at citysuburban.com. That's citysuburban.com. Come and join their growing team. citysuburban.com.
Why get an updated COVID vaccine? If you're 65 or older, a COVID vaccine can keep you out of the hospital. And if you have heart disease, a COVID vaccine can help you stay healthy. With COPD or other lung diseases, getting a COVID vaccine can keep you off a ventilator. Anyone can get severely ill from COVID. But some people are more at risk. Know your risk and make sure you're up to date on your COVID vaccine. A message from the New York State Health Department.
Are you or a loved one dealing with physical issues? Are you about to have a corrective surgery? Be prepared and take the stress out of recovery. Visit Home and Hospital Medical Supply in the new Hartford Shopping Center. From mobility aids to home safety equipment, they carry it all. Whether it's a heating pad for back relief or a knee brace for that sports injury, they now even have light therapy equipment to fight seasonal depression. Home and Hospital Medical Supply. Care with convenience. Online at HandHMedicalNY.com.
We could all benefit from heart-healthy energy, and one of the best ways to get some is by supporting your blood pressure and circulation. Superbeats Heart Chews are an easy and convenient way to support healthy blood pressure. They're plant-based and stimulant-free, so you get a green boost without the jitters. Paired with a healthy lifestyle, the antioxidants in Superbeats are clinically shown to be nearly 2 times more effective at promoting normal blood pressure than a healthy lifestyle alone. Superbeats is the #1 doctor, pharmacist, and cardiologist recommended beet brand for cardiovascular health support. It's blood pressure support you can trust. And it comes with a bonus: productive, heart-healthy energy without the crash. Find out how you can get a free 30-day supply of Superbeats Heart Chews and 15% off your first order by going to getsuperbeats.com and using promo code LISTEN. That's getsuperbeets.com, code LISTEN, for free heart chews and 15% off your first order.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
Immerse yourself in premium nationwide coverage, contract-free plans, and always-free activation with Consumer Cellular, now at your local Target. While you're there, check out our newest phone, the Iris Flip. It's all the phone and camera you need, plus it features a user-friendly design, making it the perfect flip phone. From now to December 16th, you can score $10 off when you buy the Consumer Cellular Iris Flip at Target, making it only $39.99. Visit your nearest Target for the full scoop.
Hey, I want to tell you about Omni Surgery and Dr. Hyder. If you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, there's help out there. Dr. Hyder. For our family, he's a miracle worker. Just worked with my dad when he was having just excruciating back pain that went on for weeks and weeks. And if it wasn't for Dr. Hyder, I don't know that it would have gone away. The Omni Surgery Center. Call today. You don't have to live with the pain. Go to their website for details, killpain.com. It could be a procedure that is non-surgical. It could be a low-invasive, less invasive procedure that is surgical. But at the end of the day, there are ways to get rid of the pain and allow you to have a normal life. Call today for an appointment, 315-765-8448, where modern technology meets cutting-edge surgery. Omni Surgery Center with Dr. Hyder. Dr.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Dr. Hyder. Tonight is the Teddy Bear Toss. We have tickets to give away for the New York Sash Teddy Bear Toss tonight at the Adirondack Bank Center. And it's going to be a great game. And beyond that, bring a teddy bear along. When the Pioneers score their first goal, throw that teddy bear onto the ice from New York Sash. and, of course, the Utica University Pioneers. We have a pair of tickets to give away to that coming up in a second. Eric is on the line in Deerfield. Good morning, Eric. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill, Andrew, and Davey.
Are you
Good
ready?
morning.
Are you ready for? By the way, would you? Could you use tickets to the teddy bear toss tonight?
Sure, would love to go.
All right, then that'll be one of the potential consolation prizes for you. Tickets from New York Sash for the teddy bear toss tonight. All right, here we go with your question. You know the deal. You'll have 7 seconds to answer, Eric. 7 seconds. Get your answer in, and here is your question. Joyce Clyde Hall created the Norfolk Postcard Company back in 1907. He later changed the name to this. Ready, go.
What is Hallmark?
What is Hallmark? He's absolutely correct. Woo! There's $200. Hobika yesterday was just saying, stop giving away my money. Yes, Joyce Clyde Hall created the Norfolk Postcard Company in 1907, later changed it to, could you imagine if they had to call it the Norfolk Postcard Company Network? That'd be terrible.
It would be tough.
But the Hallmark Network has such a ring to it.
I'll tell you, those movies, they are awful, but awfully addicting.
All right, listen, you're right. This we're going to also give you the all-in-one food and fun card from Aquavino, Babe, 72, Tavern, Taylor and the Cook, and any of the concession stands at Adirondack Bank Center, and the gift shop. But beyond that, you can go there and pick up, for $20, get $25. You get an extra $5 free. And we'll give you the Utica University Pioneers New York Sash teddy bear tickets for tonight's game as well, all right?
Thank you so much, Bill. Hey, Andrew, if I make it 5 minutes into a Hallmark movie, that's really something, because I can't do it.
That's the problem. That's all it takes, Eric. You get 5 minutes in, and you're like, wow, I want to see what happens next. And then the next thing you know, it's 8 o'clock. And don't think it's just me, because
I was just going to say,
Lifetime has a similar effect.
Only you. Okay, Eric, thank you, man. Stand by. Davey's going to hook you up. Nice job. Tonight, the Dusty Puppies will be playing their classic rock the playlist, I guess is what I would call it, at Station 233, the Simple Bar, Route 233, and it's for Sleep in Heavenly Peace. The group that goes out and builds beds for kids who don't have beds. Bring new twin-size comforters, twin-size bed-in-a-bag sets, standard-size pillows for our collection tonight, and it's from 7 until 10 at Station 233. This is a great little event they're doing, and Dave Olney's band, the Dusty Puppies, really, really good. Check them out. Tonight at Station 233. The mayor of Ilion is John Stevens. He's also a legislator in Herkimer County, at least for the next few weeks. He's on the line right now. Mayor Stevens, good morning.
Good morning, man. How are you?
We're doing well. Being longtime residents of the valley, as I said to Mr. Bono, we've heard it over and over again. Boy, I hope Remington doesn't leave. I hope they don't move out. Hope they don't close Ilion. And that announcement, dreaded announcement, came to some 250 employees yesterday.
Yep, and here we are.
So
here we are.
I mean, just for those who. Because I get it, if you're from Utica, it's almost against the law to cross that line to the east and head into the valley. I don't believe that's true, but you know how people are.
Yeah.
If you've never been, I can tell you that as a kid, when I first learned how to drive and in high school, I was always told stay out of Ilion at 3:30. Because that's when Remington lets out. Some 3,000 employees would be let out. All, maybe it wasn't 3,000 at the time, but the second shift was the largest shift. And you just could not drive through the village at that time. It was parking lot after parking lot emptying out all at the same time. And
we used to have police officers right there at what they call the main gate. We used to have them at the bottom of Benedict Ave. You're right, Bill. It was almost a sight to see every day.
Of course, we've come a long ways in the other direction from that.
In the wrong way, yeah.
In the wrong way. So now, I guess you're in a better situation where if there were 1,500 or 2,000 employees there and that it just closed its doors, that would just be horrific. So we've had a couple of decades to deal with it. But for those who have not been to Ilion, this is a village where the 2 centuries of Remington, the village literally has been built around Remington.
Around the factory.
34
Absolutely.
acres. And what comes next, John? What do you do next?
Well, I guess we're all still kind of in a state of shock. I've had zero communication with the current owner group. I've tried on many different occasions with no success. I was actually informed of this yesterday by a news media outlet who called me and asked me if I had a comment, and I was like, comment on what?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't know? I was like, no. So when I found out, I immediately went up into the office, and to Mr. Bono's point, we have discussed this in the past. As you stated, I'm currently still filling a dual role as a legislator and the mayor for a few more weeks. I'm in the process today. When I get back in the office, I'll be contacting all of our elected officials at the county, state, and federal level. Try to set up an in-person meeting with them. We'll gather them all, whether it's in our auditorium at the municipal building or our boardroom or wherever we need to meet. And we'll start putting our heads together over the next days, weeks, months, and see where we're going. We as I said, we have discussed this in the past. Your dad retired from there. My dad retired from there. It's always been, even when they worked there and they were going strong. Remington's closing. We're moving south.
Yeah.
As I said last night, you're never going to find the skilled and dedicated labor workforce that we have in that factory, ever, anywhere in the world. They've tried moving repeatedly to other places, and it always comes back.
Yeah.
Am I optimistic this time that it'll come back? A little optimism still sits there, but, a lot of that is gone.
Yeah, I almost feel like for you, this is in March of 2024 when, if all of this comes to fruition, which it seems like it is going to, you will be the mayor of this village during that time period, and it really is I will say, you have to look at it as an opportunity, but I think it's going to take some massive leadership on your part to be able to put together, whether you're putting together committees or putting together, trying to get help for workers to be retrained, maybe through Herkimer County Community College, a repurposing plan. I mean, have you thought about I'm not sure I'd have been able to sleep last night if I were you.
I didn't much.
Yeah.
Yes, I have. Look, back in my first term as mayor, I was fortunate to have them at one of their higher peaks for the past decade and a half or so. They were 1,500 strong.
Yep.
Our state politicians at that point in Albany decided to run with the SAFE Act, which, I fought through. We kept them here. Unfortunately, the political climate in this state, and I said this yesterday to a couple of people, some of those folks in Albany were dancing up a storm last night and proud of themselves. And that makes me sick. For anybody to be happy about this is rather disgusting. And, that's just the way it is. But, yes, we do have a plan. As far as you saying, that the leadership needs to be strong, my comment to that is bring it on. We'll do it. We'll get through it. We have a strong community. We have a strong region. We always pull together. We may not agree politically or philosophically or, we may not like each other, but when push comes to shove, as you know from being here your entire life, this community comes together and pulls through.
Yeah.
And we will. We will. I'm very optimistic about that. Is it going to take some time and hard work? Absolutely.
I just feel that you have to look forward, although I would like to look back just a little bit, and it is and maybe we can learn from this, but to me, this is a great example of our federal politics collapsing. We're in Hamilton College is going to do an event coming up on Monday where, what is it called again, Andrew? It's I don't have it right in front of me.
Yeah.
But you have Blunt, former senator, U.S. senator, and you have a congresswoman who's a Democrat, Common Ground series, where they bring a Democrat and Republican together to talk about how do we get back to the point where we work for a better country, a better cause.
Right.
And I have to say, you have on one side you have the Democrats. The SAFE Act certainly was problematic for Remington, but you have Senator Schumer, who could have helped, the most powerful Democrat in the Senate, and then on the other side you have Elise Stefanik. So Schumer's not going to help Remington because he doesn't want to hear from all these anti-gun people. And Stefanik's not going to help because she wants to be able to keep the storyline that the Democrats destroyed Ilion and destroyed Remington and pushed out another country. So Ilion and Herkimer County go completely unrepresented by both parties because politics gets in the way. And I hope that we can learn from that moving forward.
Yeah. And you know what I've got to say to that, Bill? Like I said before, I'm gonna extend the offer and put the onus in their lap and say, look, we need to get together. We're going to host, I don't know what you want to call it, a meeting isn't the right word, but a forum. And if they turn it down, then that's on them.
Yeah.
If we make the effort, not just the village. I mean, this is at the local level first and foremost. This affects the village of Ilion, number one. Then you look at the county, then you look at the state. But number one is the village of Ilion is the highest, the most affected of this issue. So, again, we'll get things together. I got my staff already waiting for me to get in the office today. We're going to start doing, what is this going to do to our village budget? What is this going to do to our electric usage, our water usage? Where are we going? So let's get all these numbers together. And then, look, again, put the onus in their lap. Make them say no.
Yeah. I have somebody asking here on YouTube, will this affect police and the fire departments in the village, the fire department in the village? You have a full-time fire department, and part of that reason is you need it because of Remington. A lot of what happens and has happened over the years in Ilion has been because of Remington. I realize it's probably too early to think about that, but probably not too early to think about it.
Well, it's not too early to think about it. It's really too early to make a definitive comment on it. At this point, no, it won't. What people need to sit back and take a deep breath and realize, Bill, is the factory is still going to be there and owned by Rem Arms.
Yeah,
they still have to do their due diligence to maintain it and pay their taxes and things like that. Now, in years past, have they gone for reductions in taxes to help? Yeah, that's all been part of packages that have been given to them to make their operations easier and less costly. We brought them on board in 2011. We brought them on board to Village Electric, which saved them millions in operating costs annually.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be a trying time. There's no doubt about it, and we wish you the best. And certainly got to be thinking about those 250 people out there that are thinking right now going into this holiday season, what am I going to do in 3.5 months? I do think I lost John, to be honest.
Yeah.
No need to worry. I just keep talking. I just keep going. John, we do appreciate it. Thank you, Mayor John Stevens in the Village of Ilion. I promise you, when we get out of news, we're going to get into all the comments. I have a ton of comments about all of this. Andrew does as well. We'll get them all in there coming up next. News straight ahead.
It's time for Stewart's Holiday Match. Last year, Holiday Match raised over $2 million for local children's charities. From Thanksgiving Day through Christmas Day, Stewart's customers impressively donated over $1 million to the program. Each individual donation was matched penny for penny by Stewart Shops, and $2 million was donated. There are no administrative costs, and 100% of the funds benefit local, nonprofit children's organizations. Visit stewartshops.com to learn more and apply. We're looking forward to another great season of Holiday Match.
Need new tires for winter? Then visit Tolman's Tire and Auto Repair today. Now through December 14th, save up to $70 instantly when you buy a set of 4 eligible Bridgestone, Blizzak, or Firestone Winter Force tires. Save up to $100 instantly when you use your CFNA credit card. Tolman's Tire and Auto Repair located in South Utica, Yorkville, Rome, Herkimer, and downtown Utica. And online at tolmanstire.com. Offer valid November 15th to December 14th, 2023. Cannot be combined with other offers. See store for details, subject to credit approval.
Twin Ponds Golf and Country Club, your home for weddings, banquets, and of course, 18 holes out on the greens. And now you don't have to depend on Mother Nature's cooperation. You can drive and putt inside with their new True Golf Indoor Big Screen Golf Simulators. Located at the Tap-In Bar and Grill at Twin Ponds. Looking for more than just golf? Check out their new multi-sport simulator. Remember, Twin Ponds has leagues starting in January. Swing in and play today. Online at twinpondsgolf.net. That's twinpondsgolf.net.
Why get an updated COVID vaccine? If you're 65 or older, a COVID vaccine can keep you out of the hospital. And if you have heart disease, a COVID vaccine can help you stay healthy. With COPD or other lung diseases, getting a COVID vaccine can keep you off a ventilator. Anyone can get severely ill from COVID. But some people are more at risk. Know your risk and make sure you're up to date on your COVID vaccine. A message from the New York State Health Department.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica, Rome, W295DI Utica, Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
They ceased the ceasefire. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Air raid sirens in Israel after rockets fired by Hamas. The war in Gaza back on.
Blast in the background right now. Israel announcing it was resuming strikes and hit a variety of locations.
Fox's Greg Palcott near the Gaza border.
Locals were warned to leave certain areas in the south, but still there are a bunch of reported casualties, adding to the humanitarian disaster. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's office released a statement. The government of Israel is committed to achieving the goals of the war, releasing the hostages, eliminating Hamas, and ensuring Gaza never again constitutes a threat to the residents of Israel.
Now the talks in Qatar continue, trying to get a ceasefire back in place to get more hostages out. Israel says Hamas still has 137 people captive. A red state, blue state debate on Fox. 2 governors sparred last night. California Democrat Gavin Newsom touting
14 million jobs, 10 times more than the last 3 Republican presidents combined.
Because he had
815,000 manufacturing
the jobs were because of the COVID lockdowns. Are you kidding me?
Florida Republican Ron DeSantis firing back.
They have chosen in California to put the interests of the criminals over public safety.
They also got into it over immigration.
You're trolling folks and trying to find migrants to play political games to try to get some news and attention so you can out-Trump Trump. And by the way, how's that going for you?
DeSantis, who's running for president, accused Newsom of running his own shadow campaign to try to replace President Biden as the 2024 Democratic nominee. The House will vote in a few hours considering expelling Republican Congressman George Santos, who refuses to go quietly.
If I leave, the bullies take place. This is bullying.
Santos, who lied to New York voters about his past, has also been indicted for fraud. A House ethics investigation found he spent campaign money on himself. A federal judge has blocked Montana's ban on TikTok, supposed to take effect next year. The judge ruled oversteps the state's authority to infringing on TikTok users' rights. America's listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
Paid actor portrayal.
Life can be so unpredictable. After losing my dad, it made me think about my family if something were to happen to me. I had heard about life insurance through Ethos and how easy it was to get coverage. They were right. In 10 minutes, I was covered. And boom, family protected.
Ethos fast and easy online term life insurance up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Good morning, WIBX 950 News Time 8:03. I'm Andrew Derminio. Right now we're at 38 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Your full weather forecast is coming up. This update brought to you by the Mad Dash to save cash during the My Carl's Holiday Super Sale. Glam vanities with mirrors, dining sets, rocker recliners, and more. Keep more jingle in your pocket at My Carl's New Hartford Shopping Center. Employees of Remington Arms in Ilion were given devastating news on Thursday. Workers at the gun manufacturer were told that the birthplace of the over 200-year-old company is set to close on March 4th, 2024. The news came at a fourth-floor staff meeting where employees were also told they would be terminated. In 2020, the Remington Outdoor Company filed for bankruptcy, and the company's assets and divisions were broken up. A new company was formed that included former members of the original Remington Outdoor Company that would own the rights to manufacturing firearms. 8 months later, it would reopen in Ilion, employing about 200 people. A historic Varick Street building has been devastated by fire. Utica fire officials announced they were first called to the scene at HK Restaurant and Lounge just before 1:30 on Thursday afternoon. A second alarm was activated shortly after the first, and the battle raged on for hours. Ultimately, the former Rogers Coffee Shop was a total loss. HK Restaurant and Lounge was recently the scene of a homicide back on November 11th. Utica Mayor Rob Palmieri announced a number of new appointments to the steering committee that is guiding the development of a master plan for the reuse of the former St. Elizabeth Medical Center campus. According to the Sentinel, appointed to the steering committee are Oneida County legislator Tim Julian, 3rd Ward Councilor-elect Joseph Baytar, and South Utica homeowners Don McCann and Ron Caccaro. Additionally, Palmieri has asked that Julian and Baytar name one additional property owner from the South Utica neighborhood. The mayor also appointed himself and current 3rd Ward Councilor Celeste Friend as continuing members of the committee after the end of their term in office. And finally, Governor Hochul says New York State has awarded over $5 million towards supporting school-based mental health clinics. The governor said yesterday she has talked with students who say they are still feeling the impact of the COVID-19 crisis and that they're dealing with the grief of losing a loved one during the pandemic. She also believes it's up to adults to help kids return to some form of normalcy. A list of new clinics can be found at governor.ny.gov. WIBX 950 News Time 8:06. Your weather forecast is according to Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint. Brought to you by Home and Hospital Medical Supplies and Service, carrying a wide selection of home medical equipment. Call them at 315-724-6767 or visit them online at h&hmedicalny.com.
I'm Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint at the WIBX Weather Center. Today, increasing clouds, chilly light rain developing by late morning and midday, becoming steady through the afternoon into the evening hours. Some wet snow at times over higher elevations with a slushy inch after sunset, the high of 43. Tonight, periods of rain tapering, some wet flurries at higher elevations, a low of 35. For more on your local forecast, tune to Eyewitness News at 6 on WTR. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint on WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM.
38 degrees under partly cloudy skies. WIBX 950 News Time 8:06. Sports brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service. Visit clintontractor.net. The New York Sash Teddy Bear Toss happens tonight at 7 p.m. from the Adirondack Bank Center. It is the 19th annual. Bring your bears and bring your spirit as the Utica Men's Pioneers will take on their first D1 team.
Well, they've actually played Division One.
Yeah, but
for the first time ever during a teddy bear toss, they'll play a Division One school. And there's a lot of rumors out there that Utica will be going to Division One soon.
Utica Comets will play 2 on the road this weekend, Saturday and Sunday against Cleveland. Also, the Syracuse Orange hoping to win its 3rd straight game and advance to 6-2 as they head into tomorrow's game at Virginia as ACC play kicks off. Aaron Rodgers planning to intensify his practice regimen next week with the hope of returning sooner than expected. Of course, during an off-camera interview with beat writers on Thursday, the Jets quarterback said anything's possible when asked about his return. He did say that will depend on the Jets' playoffs contention. And finally, Dak Prescott on Thursday Night Football, heard right here on WIBX 950, scored a go-ahead 12-yard touchdown pass to Jake Ferguson late in the fourth quarter as the Cowboys defeated the Seahawks 41-35 from AT&T Stadium. Oh, and by the way, one more. This is a crazy story. Buffalo Bills linebacker Von Miller.
Yeah, I can't believe this.
Turning himself into Dallas police.
She had injuries, too. This was his girlfriend. We're talking about Von Miller. And in Texas on Wednesday, I believe your story is going to say that police arrived and she was treated at the scene.
Yes, an arrest warrant was issued earlier for the 34-year-old on Thursday as Miller is accused of assaulting his pregnant girlfriend.
Davey, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Just terrible, 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 no matter what. However, from a Bills standpoint, he was just starting to get back. Last game, he looked more like
old Von Miller.
More like himself. Yeah. And this
is a big blow.
Yeah, sorry. There's no tolerance for this.
Agreed.
At all.
And
period.
I don't think McDermott and Brandon Beane are going to go for that.
You cannot. No. So
or the league, for that matter.
Oh, this weekend, of course, a big state championship game for Whitesboro
yes, how
football.
could I forget?
And they'll be playing at the Carrier Dome tomorrow for the New York State Championship. Pretty excited about that.
And there's a watch party at the Whitesboro High School tomorrow for any residents that want to go and watch the game.
What time is that?
3 o'clock is
3
the
p.m.
game.
tomorrow. All right. And how do you watch it, by the way? Is it that New York State network you have to get on?
Yeah, and they're going to stream it in the auditorium.
Okay, cool. That's cool. And, of course, you could always go to the Dome and watch the game. Yeah. Coming up, we'll speak with Scott in Kirkville. Before I get to that, a story I've not gotten to yet this morning. Brandon Williams, Congressman Williams, caught on camera in a major fight with his campaign employee.
Oh, boy.
And the whole thing...
A physical fight?
Davey, would you say it came close?
It came close.
Yeah. Williams, the congressman, is screaming at him, pointing in his face. One of the quotes, "If you F with my family, I will end every relationship that you have."
Whoa.
I want to play a little of the audio. This comes from Channel 9 in Syracuse with his finger pointed. The aide's name is Gordon. Last name Gordon. Michael Gordon, who managed Williams' 2022 campaign for Congress. And listen to this. If I can get it to play. If the commercial plays, and it's going to again. It's a long spot. Anyway, they go off. I'll get audio in a second as soon as our slow internet gets through it. The video obtained by Channel 9 in Syracuse shows Congressman Williams verbally berating Michael Gordon, who managed his campaign. With his finger pointed in his face, Williams can be heard shouting, "You F with my family, I will end every relationship you have, every single friend." "Do you understand me?" Williams demanded before asking again. "Do you understand me?" The confrontation appears to be diffused by a woman saying, "Excuse me," trying to get them to stop, but somebody was taping it. I think the audio is coming up here in a second.
That's the age of internet.
Camera everywhere. There's
smartphones.
A camera everywhere. And at one point...
And get connected.
Okay, here's audio. Here we go.
Make sure the delay's on.
I think every relationship from there. Every single thing. You understand me? You understand me? You think I don't know?
You think I don't know? Excuse me.
Hey, why don't you get the police in?
And then Brandon Williams saying, "Hey, why don't you get the police in here?" Whoa.
Wow.
What is going on there? With his finger pointed in Gordon's face, Williams can be heard shouting, "You F with my family." I've already said that. "Do you understand me?" I've already said that. And then the confrontation appears to be diffused by the woman who says, "Excuse me, you're in public here, people. What are you doing?" Williams then appears to knock down the phone used to record the incident. Williams' office has identified the person recording as another former staff member, Ryan Sweeney. So what's going on? You've got one staff member being screamed at and the other staff member taping it.
Oh, boy.
And then it had to come from them. The video had to come from them, right? Leaked to the media. In a statement, Williams' office writes, "What you are seeing is two former staffers who were fired by the congressman earlier this year." Now, is that the one that happened? I know there were two. So it's Sweeney and Gordon. Were they a part of that whole, maybe this goes back to the petition challenging the petitions. You remember that story?
Yeah.
Here in Oneida County. Both individuals, the one being confronted by the congressman and the one taping, made rude comments about the female members of the congressman's family. According to the statement from Williams, these individuals planted stories with the media, and one of them physically shoved the congressman at a holiday event, which is edited from the video. As a former nuclear submarine officer known for his temperament and poise, tonight should be a lesson to all: never go after this Navy nukes family. The party was hosted by a lobbying firm, the BGR Group, at the International Spy Museum. Both Gordon and Sweeney declined the chance to comment on Thursday night. Williams was elected, of course, blah, 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 up for re-election 2024. He has challenges, and wow, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, actually, his challenger is John Mannion, who is the senator, the state senator in that Syracuse area.
That's a viable opponent, there's no doubt. So how does that get to the point where you have two staff members who are working for you, that they end up turning on you? And I again, we're not hearing any statement from the two staff members. That statement came from the congressman's office. So, but let me tell you, he was heated. And when you say, did it go violent? Was it violent? I will tell you that it was pretty darn close.
Yeah,
pretty close to that.
Fighting words.
Scott in Kirkville. Good morning, Scott. Good morning.
Morning, guys. How you doing? Oh, by the way, Bill, if I didn't say it to you guys, hope you had a good time at the Yellow Brick. I sure did, and it's a great place to watch sports.
I had never been there, but it is a great place to watch a game. You're absolutely correct.
And we got Davey first time out. Lucky, we took the training wheels off and gave him a crash course on in-game betting, and he won his first bet. And he's all excited. I think he's now got the fever, and he might be coming back too.
Okay, Davey, nice job.
Yeah, thanks to Scott.
You wanna bet?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Pretty cool. Okay, Scott. Syracuse played really well the other night against LSU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was I think Syracuse has got the talent, and if you look at the landscape of college football or basketball, there isn't any great teams out there. And if you look, Arkansas beat Duke. You've had teams that lower, like Nicholls State actually beat LSU, but then all of a sudden LSU beats Wake Forest. Virginia, which they're playing tomorrow, is 6-1. They just came off a great win against a rated Texas A&M. That's going to be Virginia's usually has had Syracuse's number in the past.
Yeah.
And that's going to be tough, and they're going to be playing there. But it's that year where anybody can beat anybody. I don't see a dominant team like the old days. There was a great game, Tennessee and North Carolina. It was 192, and to me, that's what I saw out in Maui, which is supposed to have been Syracuse lost to Tennessee and get my boys from Gonzaga. If they were like top 10 teams, you had Marquette beating UCLA and Kansas. Kansas is number one team in the country at that time, guys. So anything's possible. Good shot they might going to make the tournament this year. I think they will. It just belongs where it happens in the ACC.
Well, I got to say that this is you're dealing with a new head coach, of course, a new style of play. They're playing more man-to-man, getting away from the zone a little bit, really a lot. But I got to tell you, with Judah Mintz, if he plays well, Syracuse will do well.
Well, I think this is where the INL came into play because he was right on the verge, and I think somebody offered him a little bit more money than playing in the D-League. He was going to get drafted, I think lower, second round, but probably end up the D-League. He's got the body. He's got the NBA body. It was interesting. Bill Walton, I don't know if you caught the Gonzaga game at all, but Bill Walton was doing the color commentary.
I heard about it,
Two things that I remember is that he's been at the Turning Stone, which I was shocked being a West Coast guy, but he said, I popped my head in when Syracuse was practicing in the Maui Classic, and he thought he popped his head in watching the NBA team because of the length and the size. He was impressed with the athletes Syracuse has got, and basically they got the size and the length, and it all depends on shooting, guys. It's you saw what Bell did against LSU. You saw June DeMintz. He has the ability to draw fouls. It's incredible. and he had like 11 free throws, I think, just in the first half itself. J.J. Starring is probably kind of wondering, he was supposed to be the icing on the cake. He grew up in Baldwinsville, played at Notre Dame, and came back, and he's the one that could be they can make them above what they can be, because the backcourt in college ball means everything.
Well,
you got the backcourt.
I got to say that I just hope that they can make it competitive and make it a fun season, and make the tournament, and who knows, possibly make a run. It'll be quite interesting to see, but it's a different Syracuse out there than we're used to seeing under Boeheim.
It is. This reminds me, to be honest, everybody thinks Coach Boeheim played zone from the start. Unfortunately, I'm showing my age, but my 65th birthday is next Wednesday. But I was there during the Boeheim beginning, and if you go back and look at the scores, and this is without a 3-point shot and not the time clock, they were averaging over 80, 90 points a game. They pressed. They're up tempo. They're fun and gun.
Yeah.
And they beat Siena, I think, 144-60, and we got double French fries because of that.
Okay.
There was a thing that sounded like. Can we talk quickly about the new football coach?
What are your thoughts on Syracuse, their choice? By the way, football coach with no head coaching experience.
Yeah,
and only a
Yeah.
year as a coordinator. He was a co-coordinator. So
at Temple.
Now they say he's a great recruiter.
Yeah, well, Georgia, we'll see if that coincides with Syracuse. The only thing I would say about him maybe being a great head coach, Jimmy Sexton's his agent, and people familiar with Jimmy Sexton, he is the agent to all the great head coaches, Nick Saban, and there's only two guys he actually is an agent that's not a head coach, and one was Fran Brown, because I think he saw that this guy's going places. So we're going to hope so. But my problem is I'm an offensive guy, all right? Offense, if you look at the way that the landscape is and look at the scores, if your offensive coordinator, just like what happened to Buffalo, if your offensive guy can't do it, if you don't have a head coach that can step in, then you're relying on your assistants, and that's I'm a little disappointed is that we flip flop. We fired Paul Pasqualoni, we replaced him with a defensive guy and Greg Robinson. That went nowhere. We actually get Doug Marone, an offensive guy. He actually has the most success. We flip again. We go get Scott Schaefer, who's a defensive coordinator at Syracuse. That didn't work out. So then we go get Coach Babers, an offensive guy who had a 10-win season and went to a bowl game. Now we're back to a defensive guy again. I'd rather have an offensive guy because if worse comes to worse, he can actually step in and run your offense. And we're going to find out who the assistant coaches are, and that's another thing, guys. He's never put together a staff. I mean, he's usually when you get a former head coach, he brings his cronies with him, and we'll find out. But it's interesting. But if you look at next year's schedule, very, very winnable of 8 games. Very winnable.
All right, going to be interesting to see a lot of new coaching action at Syracuse.
Yeah.
So, all right, Scott.
By the way,
yes, sir.
I was going to say, by the way, guys, I'm opening up a comedy tour.
Oh, good.
I'm starting low. I'm booked at a couple of Colonial laundromats.
Okay.
It's actually Colonial After Dark.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
And I'm grand openings, and I'm changing the stage name as the Big Sudsy.
Okay.
So
all
you
right.
see Big Sudsy there, it's like that, and I'm also working on a dance like that Carlton guy from Prince of Bel-Air called The Washer.
Well, I got to tell you, instead of a dry bar show, you could do a dry show. It'd be awesome.
That's it. It's going to be good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and bed bugs. That's going to be my grand open.
Say goodbye, Scott, and have a wonderful weekend. Good luck.
Guys. Have a nice weekend, and
Thank you.
Hope to see you guys up at the Yellow Brick. Hope you guys had a good time, and come on back.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Boom. There he goes, Scott from Kirkville. I got a break, 8:22. Much to get to here. Coming up, we'll speak with Utica Fire Chief Scott Ingersoll on that very difficult fire on Varick Street yesterday. We'll speak with the chief, and a lot of people looking at it because that's where that murder occurred just a few weeks ago, and now the building is burned. What is there a connection? I realize it's probably a little too early to tell, but are they looking in that direction? We'll find out coming up, 8:23 at WIBX.
Remember the simple days of the home phone? You never misplaced that phone or lost a call because of spotty internet or bad reception. It was right there and always reliable, even in emergencies. Well, the home phone is back and better than ever with Community Phone. Community Phone offers landline home phone service starting at just $39 a month. And now get 50% off your first month when you call 1-866-948-9535. There are no contracts. You don't need internet. You can make unlimited nationwide calls, and your phone works, even if you lose power. Plus, you can keep your current phone number or get a new one. With Community Phone, you'll enjoy all the modern conveniences of caller ID, voicemail, spam call blocking, and more. Today, get 50% off your first month when you call 1-866-948-9535. Call 1-866-948-9535 today to get 50% off. 1-866-948-9535.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
And now, try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Spoiled supermarket meat, sawdust like fillers, artificial preservatives?
Hold on there. I'm veterinarian Dr. Marty Goldstein. You don't want your dog eating any of that. These potentially harmful ingredients are found in many of today's popular dog foods, but not in Nature's Blend. A freeze-dried raw dog food with real cuts of meat, omega-3 rich seeds, and superfood veggies and fruit.
Nature's Blend is designed to help support your dog's playfulness, healthy skin, soft coat, easy digestion, and youthful mobility.
Your dog will go bonkers over Nature's Blend savory flavor and texture.
For a limited time, save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and receive a free festive holiday dog sweater with select orders. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511.
I guarantee it with a 100% 90-day return of your purchase price.
Offer available with select orders while supplies last. Text fees may apply. You may receive up to one additional text. Text stop to opt out. Paid for by Dr. Marty's Pets.
Immerse yourself in premium nationwide coverage, contract-free plans, and always-free activation with Consumer Cellular, now at your local Target. While you're there, check out our newest phone, the Iris Flip. It's all the phone and camera you need, plus it features a user-friendly design, making it the perfect flip phone. From now to December 16th, you can score $10 off when you buy the Consumer Cellular Iris Flip at Target, making it only $39.99. Visit your nearest Target for the full scoop.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
Thank you. Ricky Z and Steve Ponte Mazda Commercial Drive is ready for you as they are in the midst of their Season of Inspiration sales event, which is going on right now. I'm going to tell you something. This is very important if you're thinking about a new vehicle from Steve Ponte Mazda. And I love the CX-90, which we're currently driving. And it's a hybrid. So, which means, right, gas and electric, right? So I charge the vehicle. I just want you to know I charge the vehicle every night And then I'm able to drive to work without using any gas and drive home without using any gas. It does change a little when it's cold. The battery doesn't last as long when you're running, you're running the heat and everything in your vehicle. But so the big question I've had from people has been, I want to know what happens to your electric bill when you're charging this vehicle every night. And
the verdict is in.
The verdict is in. We have our first electric bill in since charging the vehicle. And I'm going to tell you the change in our electric bill is insignificant.
That's awesome.
I don't even see an increase. Yes, it probably helps that I'm running an extension cord from my neighbor's house. That probably helps. I'm sure their bill has gone up. But the reality, awesome. The reality is it doesn't draw that much off your electric. And by the way, it's a regular 110. I don't have to put in anything extra. I plug it right into a regular outlet. Ricky Z is the one that said, you need this vehicle. And I'm so thankful he did. Enjoy 2.9% APR financing up to 36 months on new 2023 Mazda CX-30s. They've increased their inventories. You can save when you finance or lease on any new award-winning Mazda during the Mazda Season of Inspiration sales event. Whether you plug it in or not, there's a Mazda for you. As Rick says, let's make your deal on a new Mazda. From the dealership that's achieved first place nationally in customer satisfaction, where it's always easy to do business, Deep Pony Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, first day of December. Yesterday, a bad fire on Varick Street. Andrew covered it. We have a ton of photos, by the way. A lot of photos who came. Let's see.
They'll be up shortly.
We have several photos. We have photos from Nagel. We have photos. I don't know if you saw those that came in.
Yes.
We have photos. Who else did you get photos from? Nancy Ford, but also
Mark Donovan.
Mark Donovan.
The original story that we have right now on the website.
Mark Donovan from the Boilermaker. There were a lot of people over in that area taking photos. It was quite an intense fire. Now, the thing that makes this very interesting is this fire comes just a few weeks after there was a murder over there at that actual building in the business there. Is there any connection? To get to the bottom of it, we'll speak with Fire Chief Scott Ingersoll from the Utica Fire Department. Is on the line right now. Scott, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
So what do we know, Chief? What do you know at this point? And I'm assuming it's too early to determine the cause, but is it? Are you deeming this suspicious at this point?
Right now, we are not deeming this suspicious at this point.
Okay.
Because we have nothing that would indicate otherwise. I'm actually down at the fire scene again right now. One of the issues that we're having is due to the extensive amount of collapse and damage to the structure, that it's really unsafe to get any investigators inside to the into the building itself.
Okay.
And I don't see that changing. So it's definitely going to hinder a complete investigation of this fire because of the amount of damage. And it's just the building's so unstable right now. We just can't even risk sending people up to the second floor. Originally when we got the call, it was for smoke coming from the second floor and attic of the building. And obviously when we got here, we found a lot of heavy black smoke coming from the second floor. And as crews were searching, they did find and two of the apartments were under renovation. Two of the front apartments were occupied. The fire looks like it started in the center of the structure, but from there we don't know the events that led up to the fire and what contributed most to that fire spread.
The fact, too, that it came in the middle of the day is somewhat, I would say, somewhat unique. I guess I'll ask that question.
Yeah. So this is one of those fires that is surprising how much of a head start it got ahead of the fire department before notification in the middle of the day. There was an extensive amount of fire and smoke from this building. even before our arrival. So we had companies that were leaving from the Bleecker Street Fire Station that could clearly see the column of smoke from the fire station. Some reports that we had from witnesses that they had just driven past the building several minutes before. There was nothing going on, and then all of a sudden there was a lot of smoke coming from the building. So,
Chief, some people have been saying that due to how thick and black the smoke was, that was that could be a contributing factor to something suspicious. Is there any truth to that? And does the amount of smoke or the type of smoke have any indication of cause or how the fire is burning?
No, the amount of smoke it indicates how the fire is burning, and that one of the things we had a multitude of issues that contributed to that. That contributed to the amount of smoke that was coming from the building. One of the things that we were able to identify early on is that the roof that we were operating on was actually a roof that was built over the top of the original roof. So there was about a 20-inch space between the top roof or the new roof and the old roof. So the fire in that space, there was fire in the second floor. There was fire above the ceiling in the second floor in the original roof area. And then that fire broke through into the newer roof area as well. So there was multiple levels of fire that we couldn't even get to and get water on that. And it's basically, all the wood underneath there, it's dry, it's seasoned, and it's pent up. And so that heat starts building up. And because we're not able to get that cooled off, the fire just really starts getting through and mushroom, goes across the entire attic space, and the smoke doesn't have a great spot to escape, so it really starts getting dense, dark, and a lot of heat.
Yeah. What kind of structure is that? Is that just a wood structure there?
Yeah. So it's an all wood frame dwelling. Multiple use dwelling. Obviously, there's the restaurant on the first floor. There's 4 apartments on the second floor. It's an old building as well, so it's probably early 1900s. We see a lot of post-beam construction here, and a lot of old-style lumber, old-style nails, such things as that. And when we started getting some collapse, one thing we noticed early on into the fire on the south side of the building, we had a lot of bowing of the walls. So we made sure that our guys stayed out of that side of the building, and that inevitably ended up being the portion of the structure that collapsed first, and then the roof followed suit, and then obviously we had more collapse on the Cooper Street side of the building, and I'm looking at part of the building laying on 711 Cooper Street right now.
Okay. And one of the things you see a lot of times with these older buildings is they later end up becoming parking lots because they don't rebuild. Obviously, I don't know what the situation is here with insurance or that sort of thing, but some of the photos that Andrew has up on our website at WIBX950.com are pretty intense, and you see flames coming. That really was, Chief, quite an intense fire.
It really was, and I really have to commend my firefighters for confining it to just this building and not, keeping the fire from getting into this other building on Cooper Street and the building directly next door on Barrett Street as well.
Yeah. Chief Scott Ingersoll, thank you for the time. We appreciate it. And just to clarify, though, you're not ruling out suspicious activity, but there's nothing that leads you to believe there is at this point. Is that correct?
Yeah. Right now, we're going to be the cause is still going to be under active investigation, and then if we have some information developed one way or the other, we'll be sure to get that out there.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much. Chief, thank you. Have a great weekend.
Yes, you too. Thanks, guys.
All right. Chief Scott Ingersoll with the Utica Fire Department. We'll break and come back and talk about all of it. We have a whole bunch of comments to get to. And some stuff. It's just been such a busy morning. There's much to get to.
Mm-hmm.
And remember tonight, Utica Pioneers teddy bear toss with New York Sash. 7 o'clock game at the Adirondack Bank Center. Bring teddy bears, as many as you can. Utica scores its first goal. You throw those bears onto the ice. It goes to many local charities, including ours, which we direct our toys and money to the Marines and Toys for Tots. So if you're collecting and you want to give through us, it's going to the United States Marines and that amazing Toys for Tots campaign. All those toys remain here for local children. Also, tonight, please remember going on with the Dusty Puppies. That's a classic rock band locally. They are performing tonight over at Station 233, the Simple Bar, 7 to 10. Dave Olney's band, and they're asking you to bring over there, not toys, but bedding. Sleep in Heavenly Peace is an organization that makes beds and delivers them for free to children who might be sleeping on a couch, on a floor. You'd be amazed at the number of families who don't have beds for their children. And this organization solves that problem. The slogan, "No kid sleeps on the floor in our town." And tonight, the Dusty Puppies performing. They're asking for you to bring twin-size comforters, twin-size bed in a bag. This has to be new. The easiest way is to get, they call it bedding in a bag. And it has all of it in there, the comforter, the sheets, pillowcase, everything you need, all in one bag. Bring it on over there. They're collecting at Station 233 tonight from 7 until 10 p.m.
How would you like to come home to a bartender who will fix you any cocktail you want?
I'll have an old-fashioned.
I'll have a margarita.
Now you can with the Bartesian Home Cocktail Maker. Bartesian is a sleek machine the size of a coffee maker that makes premium cocktails at the touch of a button. Choose from over 50 different cocktails, from classics to the most exotic premium cocktails served in the best bars today. You'll always get freshly mixed, perfectly balanced cocktails with the Bartesian Cocktail Maker. And now, get Bartesian's best holiday deal ever when you go to bartesian.com/sips. Entertaining? The Bartesian is ideal for parties. No need to stock all kinds of individual mixers for complicated recipes. Every guest gets the cocktail of their choice in seconds. The Bartesian makes a wonderful gift for anyone who loves a fine premium cocktail. Now get Bartesian's best holiday deal ever. It's available right now only at bartesian.com/sips. That's BARTESIAN.com/sips for Bartesian's best holiday deal ever. Only at bartesian.com/sips.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
And now, try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
A healthy weight, more energy, and smooth, regular bowel movements. 3 things everyone strives for.
It's me, Chuck Norris. There's one really important thing we don't talk about enough: our health. Achy joints, digestive issues, weight gain, and fatigue. We're told these are normal signs of aging. So working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick.
Morning Kick is a revolutionary formula combining 10 different supplements in one. Probiotics that help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and several of the most powerful anti-aging supplements on earth. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, focused, and help manage stress.
Anybody can achieve great health regardless of their age.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com. Use code SUPPORT or text SUPPORT to 511-511 and claim 40% off today.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee.
Text SUPPORT to 511-511. Morning Kick. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply. Spoiled supermarket meat, sawdust like fillers, artificial preservatives?
Hold on there. I'm veterinarian Dr. Marty Goldstein. You don't want your dog eating any of that. These potentially harmful ingredients are found in many of today's popular dog foods, but not in Nature's Blend. A freeze-dried raw dog food with real cuts of meat, omega-3 rich seeds, and superfood veggies and fruit.
Nature's Blend is designed to help support your dog's playfulness, healthy skin, soft coat, easy digestion, and youthful youthful mobility.
Your dog will go bonkers over Nature's Blend savory flavor and texture.
For a limited time, save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and receive a free festive holiday dog sweater with select orders. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511.
I guarantee it with a 100% 90-day return of your purchase price.
Offer available with select orders while supplies last. Text fees may apply. You may receive up to one additional text. Text stop to opt out. Paid for by Dr. Marty's Pets.
We could all benefit from heart-healthy energy. And one of the best ways to get some is by supporting your blood pressure and circulation. Superbeats Heart Chews are an easy and convenient way to support healthy blood pressure. They're plant-based and stimulant-free, so you get a green boost without the jitters. Paired with a healthy lifestyle, the antioxidants in Superbeats are clinically shown to be nearly 2 times more effective at promoting normal blood pressure than a healthy lifestyle alone. Superbeats is the #1 doctor, pharmacist, and cardiologist recommended beet brand for cardiovascular health support. It's blood pressure support you can trust. And it comes with a bonus: productive, heart-healthy energy without the crash. Find out how you can get a free 30-day supply of Superbeats Heart Chews and 15% off your first order by going to getsuperbeats.com and using promo code LISTEN. That's getsuperbeets.com, code LISTEN, for free heart chews and 15% off your first order.
River Hills Properties is the fastest growing real estate company in the area. #1 independent real estate agency in the area. #2 when it comes to the chains. This is for a company that didn't exist 15 years ago. All about the services provided. Everything they do is about making life easier for the seller and ultimately for the buyer as well. Your listing agent is there every time the house is shown, making sure the lights are on. I don't know, the apple pie smell is in the air. Whatever it is that you people do, Andrew, to make that house more showable, it all plays a huge difference. It really does. Have you ever walked into a house and had it just a mess, where the lights aren't on, you can't find it, everything's just uncomfortable? You certainly do not feel prompted to say, boy, I want to buy this house. So it just makes all the difference in the world when someone's showing a home. When we used River Hills back when we sold our home, we sold in under a week. Under a week, our house sold. They have offices in Barneville, Little Falls, and Utica, but serve all of upstate New York. It's online, riverhillspropertiesllc.com. Why wouldn't you list with River Hills? Call 315-896-1009. Remember, nobody sells homes like River Hills.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, a bunch of stuff you want to comment. We've had a busy morning. And as a matter of fact, let me just tell you something. Do you know there will be weeks at a time? This is just my opinion. Take it for what it's worth.
Mm-hmm.
There would be weeks at a time that you could go through. Tell me if I'm wrong, Andrew. You could go through a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and not have.
It'll be brutal.
And not have the news that we have had packed into this week.
This week, yeah. In the last 24 to 48 hours.
It's been. I mean, remember the week started off with Bruce Karam.
That was this week?
That was this week.
Oh, my gosh.
Was it this week?
I think it was, yeah. Well, yeah, because the Observer Dispatch had the story yesterday, so I think it was.
Yeah. I mean, you're just talking about so much news packed in, and then of course today's news on Remington, which is, you got to be feeling for these employees down there in Ilion who rely on that place, hoping to rebuild Remington Arms. And now they're told that, coming up in March, you're going to be out of job.
Just terrible.
Now, so you'd ask, well, why would they tell them now? I believe that's the law that has to be done. You have to give 90 days notice. These companies have to give 90 days notice for employees. But if you're an employee, you're looking right now, right?
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, speaking of news, and I don't think we got the chance to mention it, you briefly touched on it yesterday. It is official that the College of St. Rose is going to be closing.
So that came yesterday.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
somebody mentioned, it's Jimmy Fallon, not Fallon, but Jimmy Fallon who actually went to College of St. Rose.
You've got comments and I've got comments.
I have a ton of comments here. First of all, Matthew Johnson started out the day with, well, hello, Bill. Hello, Matthew. Good morning.
Dave from Inlet. This is back to the story we were talking about with the kid at the Chiefs game. The kid at the Chiefs game is actually of Native American heritage. And by the way, Ed Hanna borrowed the phrase observe a disgrace from me. That's Dave in Inlet.
Okay. That's cool.
Fred in Clinton.
Dave, you should move to Utica and run for mayor.
Yeah. I'm going to run for mayor.
I'm running for mayor. There are no fires in this town. They're just driving by this God-blessed city hall, just blowing those whistles to annoy me. That's what they're doing.
Oh, boy. Fred and Clinton. We knew this day was coming, but we all hoped it wouldn't. I had uncles, neighbors, cousins who worked their entire working lives at Remington Arms.
Yep.
I still remember when Main Street and Ilion went through the facility under the pedestrian bridge.
You know that is so...
Sad day.
Main Street in Ilion used to go through Remington Arms. So now as you're driving through, you come around and you go around. Say you're coming from Mohawk, you go around the big parking lot and around Remington. You used to go right under, and there was a walking bridge between one side of Remington and the other building. I mean, kind of like what the situation is now over on Columbia.
Yeah.
With the hospital.
With the hospital.
Yeah. Yep.
No YouTube today. That's from Debbie in Rome.
We fixed that, Debbie. I don't know what was going on.
Her comment was early in the 6
It was
o'clock
early, yeah.
hour,
It's
so.
back. It's on.
Darlene from Sequoia sharing a story from the Hollywood Reporter. Golden Bachelor Jerry Turner's ex-girlfriend speaks out.
Boy, I got to tell you,
Willie alluded to that.
My wife watched that thing last night, and it was intense.
FX from New... Yeah, well, yeah. That's.
I mean, the conversation between me and my wife. I'm like, this is stupid.
She's
stupid.
Like,
You're stupid. I'm going to bed and watching it upstairs.
This is
good because there's football on.
That's a good one. FX New Hartford. Like many Americans, I lost faith in our leaders. Our country is weak, divided, and on the verge of economic collapse. But I watched the DeSantis Newsom debate on Fox last night.
Before he says anything, I don't know where he's going, but if he's going where I think he's going, I'm with him. Those are the two guys that should be battling it out for president right now. That's what I'm saying.
I agree. He did say, but I watched the debate last night. I was not shocked. Most Americans know California is a disaster since Newsom took over, while credible facts were put on the screen, and DeSantis and Newsom were expected to answer. Newsom deflected and did not answer. I'm not a fan of DeSantis or any candidate, but Newsom refused to accept accountability for his administration destroying California.
I'm not necessarily a fan of either one. However, it was a traditional debate between two candidates fighting it out, lying, deflecting, and screaming at each other. Today, what do we have?
Continuing with FX's novel here, America is on thin ice. If Newsom or someone gets in with his vision for America, our country as we know it is gone. Elections have consequences, and we are living them now from the last election. Now you know the rest of the story.
You know, I think that part of what happened in Ilion, and I've talked about this all morning long, is a part of our failure on the federal level. Years ago, and it wasn't that long ago, that we had federal elected officials who worked hard to keep government contracts coming in to one of America's, if not the oldest, continuous running firearms company. That they work to get government contracts in. Remington has played a role through America's history from the very beginning, and to have this company exiting the way it has gone in the last few years is terrible. Where were the government contracts? Why couldn't at least Stefanik? Why couldn't she stand up and say, I've got contracts for this company? Instead, you have Democrats that don't want to do anything because, God forbid, they support a gun company, and Republicans who would rather see it fail so they can say, look at what the Democrats did. That's the problem with politics today. We don't think about the country anymore. We think about how is this going to make me look, and how will I be able to advance? And it's just a big, big shame.
Yep.
And so I agree with FX. I'm not sure that he agrees with me, but what else do you have there, Andrew? Hit me.
This is Ralph from Nanticoke, Pennsylvania. Brandon Williams is an embarrassment to your community and state. Just another Republican clown.
Well, I don't know necessarily about that. There's going to be quite an interesting election coming up next year between him and Mannion. Mannion would be a moderate Democrat that, while working in state government, has been liked by both parties.
Yeah. Unfortunately, in Washington, there's really no room
There's
for
no
moderates
room for
anymore.
that. There is no room for that, but it'll be a very interesting election. And remember, Syracuse holds more when it comes to voters. But I have to say, ignoring Oneida County was a huge mistake. Huge mistake in that last election, and Brandon Williams won because of it.
John in New Hartford, what is the update on the mover that hasn't been paid by Wynn Hospital? Please don't bury this story. I'll take that one if you don't mind. MVHS, we have reached out. They're really limited on what they're going to do as far as comments. I do know that they said that it was not the Wynn Hospital, but another subsidiary of MVHS, a physician's office that was moved. So really, we don't have any details because we have not got a comment from MVHS on it.
If you want to comment on the phone, 315-736-0186. I just have so many to get to. Do you have others as well?
I have a ton more
Okay,
still.
let me throw a couple of these off YouTube. We have some guy in the 540. At some point, you have to let Remington go. Well, I think that time has come, right? Andrew Thomas, have you heard of Naked Attraction? It's a dating show, and everybody's naked. I have heard about that.
What will they think of next?
Asking if the Remington situation will affect the police and fire departments in the village. It could very well as time goes on. Andrew says if Von Miller's suspended, the Bills can save $17 million in cap space and avoid his enormous contract. Hopefully, they fire Brandon Bean also. Those are comments, and I'm not done yet. I have a few more. Chuck in the Valley. I went to elementary school behind the medicine shop. The bus stop drop was in front of the State Bowling Center, talking about the old days there in Ilion. Did you leave the check? Oh, sorry, that's from my wife. Sorry. Let's see. This is Rob saying, don't start with Stefanik. What about the local officials? I just don't know what local officials could really do that they haven't already done. They have the best deal in place when it comes to electric at Remington. They have cheap power, tax incentives, tax breaks. They offered them property to be able to build a new plant. I mean, what more can they do in Herkimer County? I guess I don't know. Mike says, after the money you gave away from Hobica, I'll bet he'll reduce his bid on the truck for the same amount. Okay, that's funny. Wayne, how many factories closed over the years in Utica, and we've been able to bounce back? Well, I got to say that in the Valley, there has been they're only now starting to bounce back. But then you have another loss like this, and that's certainly a problem. All right, any other quickies?
Yeah, really quick. We'll try to get to all of these. Shouldn't the new mayor start? This is from Doug in Utica. Shouldn't the new mayor start that St. Elizabeth task force? Sounds like Palmieri is still finding a way to enrich himself and friends well after he leaves office. John from Bridgewater. It's called retribution, payback, sugarcoat it all you want. I think he's talking about Remington there.
Well.
And
I still say, where are the government contracts? That would change everything. Would have changed everything for Ilion. And I'm sorry we're out of time. We'll get to these on Monday. Have a safe weekend. Remember, Teddy Bear Toss tonight. That Station 233 has the event with the Dusty Puppies for Sleep in Heavenly Peace. Have a safe weekend. We're back on Monday.
Investing involves risk, including possible loss of principal. Income may be subject to state, local, or alternative minimum tax. Did you know that municipal bonds are a way for investors to support civil projects while earning federally tax-free income? The Erie Canal, which led to the expansion of the United States into the Midwest in the 1800s, was financed with municipal bonds. Are you looking to bridge the gap between the income of your working years and the income needed in retirement? Municipal bonds might provide the solution you're looking for. Henyon & Walsh is a leading specialist in tax-free municipal bonds and has provided investors with quality service and personal attention since 1990. Call now to receive their informative bond guide absolutely free. Dial 1-800-761-9761 to learn how to earn retirement income while keeping your taxes at bay. Just dial 1-800-761-9761 for a copy of their informative bond guide for free. No cost, no obligation. 1-800-761-9761. Henyon and Walsh Inc., member of FINRA and SIPC.
We could all benefit from heart-healthy energy. And one of the best ways to get some is by supporting your blood pressure and circulation. Superbeats Heart Chews are an easy and convenient way to support healthy blood pressure. They're plant-based and stimulant-free, so you get a green boost without the jitters. Paired with a healthy lifestyle, the antioxidants in Superbeats are clinically shown to be nearly 2 times